We live. We live. Da, 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 da. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Another episode of The Junk Drawer with your friendly neighborhood vatos. We here. Today, we're running it with a good friend of ours here, Mr. E.
Come on, you got it. You got it. Put him on the spot.
Mr. E. Collectibles.
Nailed it.
Mr. E. Collectibles. I said it. Listen, I had to let the tism spasm just kind of real quick, but we're on it. We're on it, and it's all good. But yes, we are joined today. Mr. E. Collectibles is a super. I don't even know how. Like, what are you like? What are you? Explain. How
what are you?
International businessman. Yeah, I'm a Renaissance man. I'm a connoisseur of a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and particularly for today. Thanks for having me. Comic books. So I am
thank you.
I'm an online streamer or an online retailer of comic books.
That's awesome. So, first things first. Obviously, the first thing I see now that I'm looking at you here, Ninja Turtles on fleek, right off the rip. That's like your thing. That's your go-to.
Yeah. So, I'll just long story. I'll make it as fast as possible without tangents. I love comic books. Turtles are my favorite. When I was on active duty, if we were not, playing Call of Duty Zombies in the barracks or something to pass time, I was reading Ninja Turtle comics. Like, that's what got me passing the time. So Turtles have been special since I was a kid, and it never went anywhere. I never grew out of it.
I feel you. I feel like the only turtle I ever had growing up was like Franklin. I don't know if you guys remember that cartoon show.
Franklin. Yes.
So, okay, hold on. No, not at all. Oh wait, Squirtle. Oh, that's true. We had Squirtle. But I will say this. You used to go to the bodega, right?
Wow.
You used to go to the bodega, hit the bodega down in the hood, and everything that you had there action figure wise was like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Everything.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure any bandana I ever picked up that was a different color, holes immediately around my face. Why? Because I felt like I was a Ninja Turtle. I just never fit in the sewer drain thing, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and all the little turtles at the bodegas had bandanas on too,
Exactly.
but they were like Bloods and Crip ones at the bodega, so it's like some knockoff Ninja Turtles.
No.
I was Michelangelo for like 6 Halloweens in a row till I couldn't.
There you go.
Oh, dude.
Was it the
that's
last 6? Was it the last 6 Halloween?
It was a lot. When you're the most recent 6 Halloweens, yeah.
We can actually
That's
afford
hilarious.
a 3D printed like shell. Yeah, it costs $1,600, but it's sick because it holds swords. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like as
Avi
adults,
said I did it for $25 and slipped the sword in the back of my t-shirt.
That's right. Hey, but honestly, I think the other special guest is here, bro. Let me go get him real quick. I'll be right back. Oh,
We got another
boy, here we
special
go.
guest.
We got another special guest. Hold on, I'll be right back.
we got a special guest, dude. I know we talking about another guest.
Yeah.
He's here. Here you go. I got you.
Oh my god! Somebody help this man, bro.
What's up with it?
Took his kids to Vice, bro.
This is the smallest mask.
he got more forehead than he do face, bro.
Got more head than he got body.
Oh man.
Oh my
That's
god.
too funny. All right, hold on. Let's gather ourselves here. Real quick recap after the intro here. I know we've been gone for a hot minute. We took a little hiatus. Valentine's Day happened. Everybody had to spend time with their boo things. You know what I'm saying? And I think the week before that we had taken off. So a little catch up. I actually don't even remember what our last podcast was or what we did. That's how.
It was the
It was,
dioramas? Or no, we had
It was.
we had a bunch of people, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we had
it was the fusion.
uh,
We're the world champ one.
Oh yeah, we had the live for that. That was cool. You guys can check that recap out. That should be live on our YouTube channel. If you guys missed on that, feel free to go back and jump in and watch that. But yeah, so we're back on track here. This is the beginning of our comic series for the next 3 weeks, guys. With the help of I Know a Guy Collectibles. He's been doing a great job. Got a bunch of these, super how do I say, cemented people in the comic industry, such as Mystery Electables here. We have these things coming up, and I personally don't know much about comics, but I think that this is a great learning experience for me, myself, because I like the Ninja Turtles, I like Superman, I like Spawn, I like Spider-Man. I just never got into this end of things, so I hope to learn a lot. And yeah, so we'll open up the floor. Wagyu, you wanna take the lead here for a little bit?
Yeah, no. So, my relationship with Mystery Collectibles, he's the first person I bought my first comic book like on Whatnot was from this guy right here. I'm a Turtles fan. When it comes to my books, it's Turtles and Power Rangers are like my go-to. I'm still like a Harley and Marvel and stuff like that, but like my main two would be Turtle and Power Rangers. And from the rip, I went into his show. The guy puts on a great show. If you guys, we'll drop all the info and stuff on IG and stuff for you guys to follow him. But you guys definitely need to come check his shows out. A lot of knowledge, super personal. You guys are going to get to see that here. But he started out in the Turtles and he answered a lot of questions. And I just thought he would be a great segment or a great segue into this series for us to lead us off, start off strong. But no, we want to hear who you are. Kind of start us on your journey into your businesses. I know you had the COVID story and stuff, and then maybe start us on to what led you to Whatnot.
Sure. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys for having me again. I would say I'll start with the COVID business, or I'll go a little further back than that. So I spent 8 years in the Army. When I got out of the Army, I thought I was going to stay in healthcare. And instead, I went back to school, and then I got picked up by Amazon, and I made a bunch of money from Amazon, and that's how I pay for all my comic books. So I basically just used Jeff Bezos to pay for my obsession. And then when COVID hit, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get back into the office. And I've got, she's almost 9 now. I've got an 8-year-old, and at the time, she was in daycare, and the whole state of California shut down. So I didn't know if I was going to get back to work, and I couldn't go to work. I had to stay home and watch her. My ex-wife, her mom's a nurse. So, global pandemic, she's working 8 days a week as a nurse. So me and my daughter just kicked it at the house in quarantine. I bought a ton of equipment, taught myself how to use it, industrial embroidery machine, direct-to-garment printer, all kinds of stuff. I started the custom clothing business, and for 3 months in quarantine while I was locked down before I could go back to work, I got really good at that. Eventually, the world opened up. I got back to work. I ended up resigning and working for myself for like a year and a half. Fell in love with that. I got cast on a TV show it's like a business competition show. That was super dope. They're my largest contract still. I do all the merchandise for them. And I got the bug for working for myself, right? I fell in love with that. And I had wanted to do a podcast for, business coaching and teaching other entrepreneurs some things. And instead, I set up this studio, and I got on Whatnot. I think I was gonna sell like gaming consoles. So I'm a nerd, man. I mod all my gaming consoles, and I have a bunch. And I thought, Whatnot seems like it'd be a good place to get on and just sell retro gaming stuff. And while I was waiting to get approved to be a seller, I found comic streams, and I was like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. I spent like 10 grand the first month on Whatnot. And I was just buying a bunch of comics. I was like, I have comics, I should be selling comics. So once I got approved, then I switched over. I'd never done the video game thing, which was my intention. I've only done comic books on Whatnot, and this whole studio is just covered in books now. So that's how I got. That's a long-winded answer, but that's how I got to where I'm at now.
And so it's been what? So you've been really embedded in this whole thing as far as like, I wouldn't say like the e-commerce of, I guess you could call it the e-commerce of collectibles for comics for the past 4 or 5 years now. That's kind of like where you've.
Oh man, so I would say, being a retailer and seller, yeah.
No, that's what I meant. Like
being a retailer for about the last 2 years, I've been a retailer.
Oh, okay.
As a collector, much longer. Of course, that's kind of what's cool. Even and you guys are telling me, TCG. I can't, if I wasn't using it as a giant like mouse pad right now, I would show you that's one of the things I've made in my business. I have probably 10,000 blank extra large mouse pads or TCG like card game pads, and
Oh,
I
dope.
I I would sublimate and make custom one. That was probably one of my biggest items, and I've got one from a local card shop here, Ender's Games in Fresno, California, and I use it as a giant. This is like a test one I made when I first started his order, and now it's like my mouse pad. But
Yeah.
I used to go to like the flea market or like Frank and Sons. I don't know if you guys have that where you're at, but
Oh, yeah.
huge warehouse
not
out here. Yeah.
That
Oh man.
is that
And
Gunny is sorry to cut you. Is that the one
no,
the
you
one you were showing me? That huge
Yeah.
store where it's
Yeah.
like it's like a fucking mall,
Yeah,
Oh,
but just all
man,
collectibles.
That's where
I
Shorty
gotta go.
goes. Actually,
Yeah.
my buddy Killer B was just there the past like 2 weekends for me looking for stuff. I never
They're
been.
awesome.
I've seen. Yeah, it looks like a sick place. I'd love to go.
it's like a Comic-Con, like every day, like you every day that it's open at least. I mean, if you're into cards, you can get cards there. If you want like Funkos and other collectibles, you can find those. Like I took my buddies from work at the time to go get Yu-Gi-Oh cards because they had a whole bunch of rare cards that he needed, and it was his birthday, and I was like, pick any card, I'm gonna get you this card. And he looked at me, and then he didn't do me dirty, but he was like, this one. The guy's like $500, and I was like, oh, that's what I get. I got him the card. I didn't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh, but I got him the card. He's like, wait, really? And I was like, man, I said pick a card. It's your birthday, so I never took him back to Frank and Sons, but. But they have everything there, and if you can't get out to a convention but you can make it to a Frank and Sons, that's where I would go, and I always would hunt for comic books. And then my local comic book shop really helped me with becoming a retailer. He's been working towards retirement. He actually did just retire and shut down his shop that's been here for like 40 years, and he's never been into exclusives. And he's one of the people that sort of was against exclusives, and we had a lot of philosophical debates on it in his shop. And then one day when I decided I needed a collectibles exclusive, I just got to get a turtle book, just one, and I'll be satisfied. I'm talking to him about it, and he's like, if you really feel that passionate, you should do it, but go into it understanding you may not make any money. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna spend thousands of dollars getting an artist, and I'll break that stuff down for you guys later if you want. But he's telling me like it's a big process, and so I wrapped my head around I may not make any money off of it, but I'm gonna do it. And I started to apply, and I went with IDW, the publisher that does the Ninja Turtles. And part of the application is that they need your account number to another publisher, either Diamond or Penguin Random House. And Diamond no longer works with IDW. It goes all through Penguin. And I didn't have either account, so it didn't matter. But they're like, put in your Penguin account. And I went to apply. It was like a 3-week wait list just to get a response that you want to apply. Then they give you an application. And I still, to this day, it's been almost 2 years, I've never heard back from Penguin. But Dave down at my local comic book shop, I just went in on a whim, and I was like, look, if this is going to happen, there has to be so many things line up. If the artist is going to be able to do it, if I have the money, if, and like the first if was, if Dave will let me use his account and just ship the books to his store, I'll pay for everything. I'm not, he doesn't need to worry, but I know he hates exclusives. So I go into the shop. I'm a little nervous. So of course I'm shopping. I'm picking up a couple of books. I get a nice little stack before I work up the courage to go up to the counter and talk to him.
Gotta butter him up.
Yeah, it's like, let me run something by you. And he just looked at me, and I was as I'm kind of going through the conversation, and he just looked at me, and I was like, you're not at all interested, are you? And he's like, I'm not. And I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, man, I'm sorry. He's like, I like you, man, and I like the way your mind works. He's like, I just don't want to do an exclusive. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not asking you to go in with me and like be my partner, and I'll pay for everything. I just don't have a Penguin account, and I can't process my application without one. And he goes, oh, you just need my account. And I was like, yeah. And I'll even give you, 20, 30, 50 books, whatever, you could sell them in your shop. And he's like, oh, no, that's fine. Go ahead, use my account. And I'm like, wait, what? Just like that? And I'm like, no way. So that was the first if. And then I get on the phone, and that's when I call Comic Traders, and I'm like, am I doing the right thing? I'm just trying to ask them the question of, hey, I need some info on how to do this. What should I be charged by an artist? And, Steve from Comic Traders goes, yeah, give me a call. You got questions. Tell me the artist, the book, the print run, and I'll tell you yes or no. And I'm thinking, yes or no, it's a good deal. And he's like, no, yes or no, I'm in. So I tell him Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Street Fighter, #1, artist is Ryan Brown. I'm gonna do 1,200 books, but it's 2 covers, so it'll be like 600 sets. And he's like, "Yes, I'm in." And I'm like, "Wait, what? What just happened?" And just like that, now I have a partner. And I'm like, all these ifs start lining up, and I couldn't believe it. All these things happen. Then the big if was, what is IDW going to approve this new retailer? And IDW, I mean, they approved, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm in." And then it happened. I gotta show you guys.
Yeah, let's see it.
That's so
this-
sick, dude.
This is a Remark set. So this is the first cover. So it's TMNT versus Street Fighter. It's 2 Virgin covers, and then you remark a Guile there, and then the S of the versus
That's
on
so
the other side.
sick.
Oh,
Oh, that's
dude,
dope.
That's dope.
That was dope.
Right? So
Mhm.
I'm like, I just need to have my name on a turtle book to make me feel like, okay, that's cool. Even if I never sell a book, I would have been fine. And it worked out. And then that was my first exclusive. I've been a part of others where I've helped other shops, but that was the first Collectibles. If you pull that book out of the bag and board, you read it on the back cover, it's my logo, and across the bottom it says in partnership with Comic Traders. And
That's
it's just
sick, man.
crazy experience. Yeah.
Dude, I gotta ask. I'm assuming that it's all sold out.
I have 2 boxes, and I think it's one cover in each box. I probably have 150 to 200 left of the total
Can-
print run.
Can I buy
Let's
them?
do-
Yeah, I want to buy one.
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
That's-
I just want one. I just
that's
want one
sick.
of each.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'll be
Awesome.
here, bro. I can't take you serious. The hat on.
So wait, I got a
Oh, why
question
you
real quick.
fading, bro?
The
Go ahead,
What?
Doc. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna
Go
say.
ahead.
So when you're creating your exclusive, are you writing the story, like hiring an artist and you write the story?
Yeah, it's a great question. I actually get that one a lot. You get to choose the story, so you can write your own book and try to find a publisher that'll run with it. This was a story that was already coming out. They were going to have
okay.
a 5-part run, but what they do is they call it a solicitation. So the publisher will say, "Hey, any artists or shops out there that want an exclusive, like what's one of your local comic book stores, if you guys know?"
So I don't
Comic
Like,
I don't
a
know if
name.
it's still there. I don't know if it's still
Comic
there,
Stop?
but
Yeah, comic
Jay and
stop.
Silent Bob's Bob's
and
place.
Jay and
Secret
Silent Bob's in
Stash?
Red Bank. Secret Stash.
Yeah.
Secret Stash. Okay, so they would send out an email, for example, if you've ever reached out to them, they would say, "Hey, Jay and Silent Bob over at Secret Stash, if you'd like to get in on a Secret Stash exclusive for TMNT versus Street Fighter or whatever, application deadline is this date." So I had already reached out. This is actually a pretty sick story. Since I was a nobody in the retail space, I didn't own a brick and mortar. I wasn't a big name at the time. What I did was I used my professional profile on LinkedIn, working for a Fortune 5 company, right? And I went straight to the VP of operations at IDW, and I was like, "Hey, who the hell runs your department for exclusives? Because they're not getting back to me." And I got a phone call within 5 minutes of that message.
No
So she
shit.
made that guy call me right away and was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just trying to figure out, like, I want to do this." And he's like, "Okay, I'll send you the info." And after that, I'm on a mailing list for solicitations, essentially. So every time, like, there's a Godzilla versus TMNT coming out, actually, which is nuts.
Oh,
So anyway,
that'd be
I
dope.
get-
Whoa,
yeah,
hold on.
I
How is that even be possible?
I don't know. Or I think I may have read the email wrong. It may be Godzilla coming out and TMNT, and they put it together like a kind of catch 'em all, like clickbait headline essentially, so that I would read the email. So I'd have to go back and look, but they did Stranger Things in TMNT, so that's what happened.
Yeah, I have one of
Really?
those covers.
Oh yeah.
That's-
Now that one
I
I
just
can
got
see.
one in. Yeah.
Oh right on.
I have a friend who's like a big Godzilla fan. That'd probably definitely get him going. Holy shit!
It's cool. I thought I had a Godzilla versus Power Rangers actually. I might somewhere.
So,
I,
but
yeah.
Godzilla.
I
versus
just
Power
want to see
Rangers?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus the gang of Squirtles. That's what
Oh
I
Gang
want
of
to see.
God.
Squirtles.
Squirtle was in a gang and he gets no respect. People forget that he was in an actual gang.
Ninja Turtles versus Krillin, Yamcha, and Tien.
Oh, man.
Oh, what we could do a Dragon Ball. There could be a DBZ versus TMNT.
They would get murdered.
Yeah.
My God, my God,
I
Yes,
think.
they would.
my God.
I mean,
It's gonna be the Turtles versus Krillin, bro. That might be a good
Yeah,
movie.
okay,
I don't
okay.
know, bro.
Krillin and Yamcha, all right?
said
Krillin and Yamcha.
He said they would
I
get
don't know, man.
murdered.
Krillin got that Destructo disc. I'd be scared for my green homies, man.
You know, I
Right.
gotta say, I've growing up, the Turtles were definitely a plus for me. Right? They had a movie like in the early '90s, and then
It's
the,
the best one.
re-release. Yeah, the re-release that came out in like what 2005, 6 or something like that, maybe 7.
Yep.
Yeah. And dude, I personally, like, if I were like laying on the couch and like you're strolling to like, all right, I'm about to get up, I should really get up, and like that movie comes on, either one of them, like I'm
Not going
there.
anywhere.
I'm gonna watch it.
I
I've
love
watched
that
it 4
movie.
or 5 times already. I'm gonna watch it again. I don't care. I just
Yeah.
it brings a lot of childhood reminiscence as far as like, you know, but your favorite characters, your toys. I had a bunch of little figures and shit. I was saying before we went live, that in the hood at the bodegas, you'd always just, you know, you pick up a bandana, any color, bro. You just cut a couple eye holes out, throw that
Ninja
son of a bitch on, and you were good to go, dude. You were whatever turtle you wanted to be for the next fucking 4 hours, right? So
Facts. You know what's
yeah.
crazy about that? I don't know if, and maybe that was just my world, but there may not be anything like that outside of Power Rangers, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I can remember as a kid. Okay, Rocky, Tum Tum. Okay, so like Three Ninjas.
Three Ninjas, Knuckle Up. That was my
Right,
shit.
Knuckle Up.
Yeah.
Right. I
Three
always wanted to
Ninjas,
be,
bro.
I'm like, I'm Cole. No, I'm Rocky. No, you're Tum Tum. Or like, no,
Yeah.
I'm Green Ranger. No, you're Blue Ranger. No, just because I have glasses doesn't mean I'm Blue Ranger.
Yup.
yeah.
And then, like
What was
me
his
and my
name?
buddies,
Billy?
we're like,
Billy?
Billy?
yeah. You always picked one. It was like, well, I'm not just the Green Ranger because I'm the coolest. It's because Green Ranger gets the Pink Ranger. All right.
Hey, that's it.
So,
What
That was
other-
everybody's first crush was the Pink Ranger.
Nah,
That was
my
it.
first crush was fucking Topanga, bro.
Topanga. Okay.
Oh
Okay,
my
yeah,
God.
Topanga, yeah.
Topanga from Boy
Jesus.
Meets World.
Boy Meets World,
She
yeah,
might still
dude.
be my crush. Yeah.
What was that other movie that was real big in that time, dude? It was like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then like there was a Double Dragon, right?
Dude,
There was
yeah.
Beetleborgs, Double Dragon.
Double
fucking-
Dragon. And
Beetle,
the guys,
yeah,
Oh, the
Beetleborg.
Dragons, yeah.
Jimmy.
They tried
Jimmy
to do like
Lee,
VR
Jimmy Lee,
Troopers
Billy
at
Lee.
the same time, also.
VR Troopers.
VR,
VR,
VR, you remember that?
Troopers.
VR
3
Yep.
virtual.
Yeah, I have like a OG Marvel run of Double Dragon over here. I think I have like 1 through 6. I think it's the whole set actually.
Dude, those
You
things
have
are
it?
great, man.
Yeah, I got. I'm reading them right now. Video game starts in their comic books, so it's like the video game. I have it right there. I was just looking at it. I'm like, wait, what is this? Double Dragon #1? How do I even have this? And I look behind it. I was like, and number 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. I guess I have the whole set. That all right. You guys are
Big
getting
flex.
around
I
this
guess I
motherfucker.
have it.
I
I
didn't
just
know,
found
like,
it.
here- no, listen, that is not a flex. My
I'm just
fiance will tell you that is my disease. All right. She's like, you don't even know what you have. So I'm convinced like she's come in here and taken books out before just to see if I'm spending too much money and I can't even keep track. I'm like, didn't I have another like Last Ronin #1 10.0 slab? She's like, no. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe I sold it. Secretly, she's got a stash. She's paying all of the bills by selling my.
There you go.
Bro, I
I've
would
got
have my wife.
something.
I would have my wife in a sleeper chokehold so fast, bro. It's not even funny.
Bro,
She would.
That's
be
the just
out.
in case fund. You know what I'm saying?
just
That's
in
that. You put
case.
you put that in the locked deposit box. Something happens, earthquake, it's like, oh, by the way, now she's the hero, right?
All right.
Let's get a Hurricane Sandy.
Till you
This
find
is
out you,
I've shown these comics off maybe once on a stream because someone brought up some old stuff like we're talking about right now. I get so excited about it. I have the entire set, and there's a cool story behind these. So the old like Hanna-Barbera cartoons, right? So this one is Pirates of Darkwater. Now I grew up really poor, and like the only cartoon channel I had besides like PBS would play this cartoon when I was a kid. Not a lot of people have seen it or remember
I don't
it,
know what
you
that. Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah, now you're gonna have dreams about it though, because if you ever watched it, it's gonna come up now. But it's Pirates of Darkwater. You know what? You may not remember it from that. You might remember the bird though. It was like a red-winged monkey bird.
Oh,
shit.
fuck,
He was
dude! I
big-
remember watching this like super late at night on like fucking channel 20 somewhere,
Yes.
Cartoon Network or some shit.
Okay,
Yeah, now I
Like,
remember that.
super late
he's
at
like,
night.
it's such a crazy storyline on the cartoon. He's like, his dad was a pirate and he's lost or something. I don't remember. Like, there's a whole storyline behind it, and I can never see every episode to know it. But Hanna-Barbera and Marvel Comics decided to put out a 6-part limited series, so it's 1 through 6. This shit was. Excuse me, can I curse? My
Yeah,
bad.
you're
You're fine.
Oh yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
So the I'm all nerding out on you guys right now, but
good.
this shit was it was so popular that when they got to issue 6, they were like, never mind, let's make it 9 books. So it goes from issue 6, or I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but it's like part 6 of 6 in the blue little square at the top corner.
Yeah.
Then issue 7 comes out, and you're like, wait, what? And it's like, now 9 parts. Like, hold on, we can squeeze more money out of it.
Got him.
So it's like book number 1 and book number 9 are like $100 for each book. Like, they're hard to get. And I have 1 through 9 because I'm a nerd. I originally had 1 through 6, and then I found a 7. And I was like, what is this? And I realized that they converted it from a 6-part to a 9-part. And I loved the cartoon. I never finished it. I mean, there's probably a database online I could download and watch the whole show now, but I have the whole comic book run. So
That's so sick,
I'm
dude.
proud of those.
I remember seeing that fucking bird monkey. Like, you know, like you ever like fall asleep, TV's on, your cartoons are playing, you wake up like 2:30 in the morning, bro, and the cartoon's just ending. It's like that's a cartoon that played right before like Billy Mays starts to sell you a fucking like fucking slice and dice, or like or like the Girls Gone Wild fucking commercials used to come on. Like, oh man, this is
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah,
Right when it
that's
switches
nice.
from your
I'm dead.
TV to your dad's TV.
That's
You're
it.
Yeah,
supposed to be in bed.
Fucking Budweiser controllers and go to sleep, boy. You know what I'm saying? That was all I remember.
Yep.
Anyways.
Oh,
let me ask you. I don't want to put you on the spot. You can say, or we can talk about it later. But could I get a set? Obviously, we all want a set for ourselves, but
Yeah.
could I get a set from you? I mean, I'll buy it, obviously, but can we get a set and then maybe at the end of our series, Gunny, we do a giveaway
Oh, dude, yeah, for sure. That'd be sick.
Yeah,
with
100%.
his book?
Yeah. Oh, dude, that'd be so sick.
So I'll,
Yeah,
I'll
well-
message you and we'll grab some sets from you.
So
Yeah,
it-
absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna fucking.
I'll
it'll
give
be
you
like a-
guys. I did a limited of. I made 20 metal prints. I'll give you guys a set of metal prints to give away.
Oh, sick.
holy
Yeah, it's
shit.
pretty fire.
Oh,
So
fuck,
I
dude.
think I only have one set left that I didn't have Ryan Brown remark, but I'll give you guys that set. I can give you guys some sets of the books too, but I'll give you guys a metal set if you guys
Yeah,
want to give
we're
those
gonna
away.
we're gonna buy.
Or
some
keep
shit.
the metal
hell
set and
yeah.
give the book away, but yeah, I'll hook you guys up.
Yeah, we're
I was
gonna-
gonna say, yeah, you guys ain't getting no metal sets for.
Yeah, I might.
That's.
You
so
guys can have
You guys
this.
can
This,
probably get the
this is your
books.
metal set right here.
the
That's what you
Togepi
get.
Oh, yeah.
from Burger King. That's hysterical. So I gotta ask, right? Whenever I think of comic books, or anytime I've gone to a comic store, you know, we kind of time travel, right? We go back into time and we start seeing like, you know, there's arts of like, you know, just shit you saw when you were a kid, Superman and Batman and Spider-Man and all those things. I know you're a big turtle guy, but what would you say was like your runner-up comic that you would collect? What am I looking at?
That
here?
is
I can't-
insane
that
artwork.
Batman?
What the
Batman
heck?
versus
That's
Superman?
Superman.
Yeah.
Superman vs. Batman. That one's a sick one. So my
Yeah.
go-tos were X-Men. I was in love
Oh.
with X-Men and Lady Death. So my uncle, I think, accidentally was bringing me comic. He would do it all the time. He'd bring me Sonic, so Sonic the Hedgehog books, and then he started bringing me X-Men books, and I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy!" And then you had the '90s cartoon, right? Anyway,
that
sickest
shit,
riff.
dude.
Anyway, yeah. So
Gambit.
he's,
Oh,
my
yeah.
uncle would come by and drop off comic books, and he accidentally dropped off a Lady Death, and that was like the first kind of mature comic book I read. And
But, like darker
it gave
stuff.
me, yeah. Well, and it was like a half-naked woman.
There it
And
is.
so I was like, I don't know how I feel about it, but I like it. but I read it, and then it was like I got to keep reading Lady Death. Like it was good, but X-Men got me. I'm gonna do a show soon. Actually, it's Whatnot is putting on like a retro rewind promotion, so it's all books from like 80s and 90s era, and I've got an entire short box of X-Men, like
Yeah,
from the
that's-
like that 90s run, X-Men 1 through whatever, and I'm gonna run all of those. I got like a whole set of cable books, like I'm gonna run all that
Also,
stuff.
real quick, just to plug you in, if you guys are in here watching, he is a Whatnot seller as well for comic books. So you guys are more than welcome. We'll plug his links on our IG. I physically cannot do it right now. I don't know why. Something's happening here and I can't type. But we will plug all that info in so you guys can check him out on Whatnot. Check out his streams and join him on there to get yourself some dope shit. Speaking of X-Men, X-Men 97. Did you see the announcement? Obviously, you saw the announcement for that, right? That's like a thing.
Yeah, have you seen the meme going around where they stole Rogue's ass?
Oh,
So it's
what?
like it's like
Oh
a,
yes.
yeah, it's like an old frame from the 97, and it's like her on the ground, just big old booty, and then it's like a frame from the trailer of the new stuff, flat back looking like Captain Marvel,
God,
and everyone's
I'm
like,
back.
"What happened?" So,
comic like images of like women were like the best. You're like, God damn, she's
They were
thick,
thick.
boy.
They made him thick.
they still there you go. They still sell probably better than anything else as far as consistency. Like I was watching shows on Whatnot, and I didn't have my daughter with me, but she loves comic books. Like I've got her reading books too, and it was just me. I'm in my studio and I'm checking out Whatnot on my phone, and I open up another tab for another streamer on my computer screen, and I'm watching, and I'm like, what is this? And I open up a stream because it said 18 and older. And I'm like, oh, maybe it's like graphic. I open it and it's just all like the Shikaris, like it's all adult comics essentially. Like I don't know what the stories are, but it's the artwork is nude, half nude, full nude, whatever. And that stuff, people are just bidding it up like crazy. And I'm like, what is this? So when I ordered a bunch of exclusives, I'm gonna do some mystery shows. People start asking me like, oh, you got any girl books? I was like, what do you mean by girl books? And that they want
Boobies.
sexy. Yeah, they're like, where's the sexy lady books at? So when I would run covers and I do mystery packs, right? So nobody knows what's inside, and it's like,
Goddamn.
there you go, exactly. So you buy a book
Dirty
or
girls.
a pack, and then I would open it, and it's all these Virgin exclusives, and Virgin just means that there's no writing on the cover. It's just all artwork. So there's trade, which will tell you what it is in the issue, maybe a barcode, and then Virgin or undressed. So trade dress, undressed. There you go.
Yeah.
The big
And
trade.
yeah, I'm like, okay, I pull out this really cool exclusive, like maybe a $60 book, and the person who bought that whole pack was like, yeah, that's sick. And then the next one will be, some David Nakayama, X-Men character, big boobs or something, and they're like, yeah, that's fire. And I'm like, whoa, like everybody loves it, man.
Oh, dude.
David
that's-
Nakayama.
David
Yeah.
Nakayama.
There you
Dude,
go. There you go.
It's
That's
like,
a
you
David
know,
Nakayama.
what's that saying, man? It's like no matter what or how you dress it, bro, just like sex and sex appeal sells always.
It
always
sells.
will.
It sells.
It's
Yeah,
great.
I've tried to tell my fiance. I was like, hey, you know what? She's like, how much money did you make on your stream today? And it always varies. And I'm like, well, I only sold a couple of books, only did an hour. And she's like, oh, that's it. I'm like, you know what? If you dressed up and just
Yeah.
stood next to me, I'd sell a lot more. And she's like,
Be a
"What?" I'm
lot
like,
more.
Yeah, just come in here in a
Put your
costume.
feet on screen.
Lean over and hand me a book. Yeah, put your feet on the screen. I'm like, we'd be rich. I'd sell out every show. And it is true. And I've watched this. So I won't put them on blast, but there's another big retailer, and they have so many shows that are always going, and there's always a new female host. And it's like, now they're on this day, it's this person, and I'm watching, and I used to go in and get steals. I'd get a pack of books, and I'd bid 25 to 35 bucks. If it went above, I would stop, because I knew what I was trying to get, because I was going to take those books in and then break them down and resell them to where it's still a great deal for somebody, but I make a profit. And I'm watching, and the host was like this middle-aged man, balding, overweight, just like me. And then in mid-show, he's like, "All right, guys, I'm tapping out." And this young, hot Asian chick comes in this like tube top, and they went from $34 a mystery pack to like 110.
Hell
They
yeah.
she's like, because she would lean in to read the phone, and she's like, "Oh, thank you. Oh, I see you bidding." And I was like, "I'm out," and I never went back. I was like, "That's it. I can't. I know
Yeah.
I'll never get another deal on this show as long as you're hosting, because everybody wants to have their name come out of your mouth when they win."
Hell yeah.
You know, like it's
That's
it's
that's
just
really it, dude. Yo,
That's
women,
it.
you
That's
know,
it. Oh.
females in any platform that has a selling advantage.
Don't
especially
even get
with-
me started.
dude. Especially Pokemon, especially.
Don't
But,
even
you
get
know,
me started, bro.
Just a
I thought
selling
you were gonna say
in
Pokemon for a second.
No,
collectibles
well, no.
in general. No, collectibles in general. Having a female presence there, really like
Yeah.
just these guys. They're like, yeah, we're gonna reach in our pocket for you, right? I'm gonna share.
Yeah, it's like, bro,
it's such a weird
it's
flex.
like, bro,
dude.
she's not gonna go out with you. Like, she doesn't like you. She doesn't
She
like you
care.
like that.
She likes your money.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, put it up.
That being said, though, in my shows, Courtney might. So keep spinning. Keep spinning. She might.
Well, you don't have her
She's-
streaming for you yet, so.
She's watching. She sees you.
So and I listen, man. I more power to them. I guess get the most you can out of everybody.
Hey.
But at the end of the day, that's
Yep.
like and not that it takes away from the excitement in collecting, but it definitely makes it fun watching the collecting. I guess.
I
Um,
think
mean,
so.
it-
Like for me, we have this conversation because I watch a lot of comic streams. Yeah, I buy a lot of books, but for me, I'm not a fan of those covers.
Yeah.
Not that I don't know. I like the more risque, like what I was just showing. Like to me, that's more attractive. That's that exact book I just showed.
And
I'll show you guys again. No, the Zerdy.
Oh yeah,
So
Zerdy crushes.
yeah, he calls this the nice girl. So this is a nice girl Eevee because she's nice girl because she's covered.
Yeah,
but
and
then he has-
naughty girl.
He has the naughty, and then he has
Yeah.
the naughty top and bottom.
Yeah.
Well, I only purchase the nice ones. I don't know. For me, this is more attractive for something that I would collect than
Yeah.
the full. So
only purchase
but
the
you're
nice
right.
ones. Hey, right here.
I watch. Oh, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. I watch the naughty ones. I watch the naughty ones though, and they will, man. Like
They sell.
you'll get that covered for 30, $40, and the naughties are at 100. It's wild.
Exactly. Exactly.
Stack of naughties just fall over in the back. What? I
And-
don't know what those are. How'd they get there?
Yeah, you know, that's what's it's interesting on Whatnot as well because you do have a channel. You essentially your stream, your show, your shop is your channel. So when people tune in, and it's funny because I ended up getting branded the turtle guy just because my personal collection was a ton of turtles. I was rarely selling the turtles because it's mine. Like I didn't want to sell turtle stuff, but I had to start collecting extras. Now, every time I find a turtle book, I gotta buy 2 or 3. It's one for me, and 2 or 3 for the stream. And essentially, it's like, oh, he always has cool turtles because I do, but I have as much Marvel and maybe I have more DC because I never get to stream the DC stuff. But you build a channel and you build an audience, and then it grows, and they expect certain things from you. So I can't I can't start a stream and start selling only naughty books. They'd probably sell for $5 on my stream if they sold, because that audience isn't there. Like the people who have put in the time and the hours to make sure that's the people that show up, they're buying a book for $75, $80, $100 and a naughty cover, and they have that audience to do it all day long, so they only make those naughty books. And it's me, like I have this book, I probably don't know exactly where it's at, but I got it from a naughty stream. I mean, not on purpose, but scrolling through, and I saw a turtle, and I was like, turtle? But then it was like April O'Neil in lingerie, and I was like, wait, what is this book? And I bought it. I bid on it, and I was like, what is this? And I bid on it thinking this is something super rare, and it was an exclusive cover for a naughty book for one of Melinda's house books. So it was just artwork inside, but I'm like,
Melinda,
oh yeah,
she's the naughty covered queen.
indeed. So I see this turtle book, and I I have only tried to show it on a couple of my turtle streams, and everyone goes, "Whoa, fire!" Nobody buys it though. Like I put it up and I was like, I'll sell this book or something, and nobody. And that's usually because I feel like what ended up on my stream is people who are looking for good deals for like good books, rare books even, and potentially a lot of families. When I went to a convention in Vegas, I had people coming up to me and they're like, "Collectibles, collectibles," and I'm like, "Yes." Who are you? And like I don't, and it's like we've been watching your stream, and it'd be a wife, a husband, and 2 kids, and I'm like, "Whoa!" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we watch your show," and I'm like, "Okay." That explains why naughty books don't go on my show. It's like, you know, potentially a lot of my viewers are family, which is cool. I mean, because that's the majority of the books I have anyway. I don't have all the naughty books, but it is interesting to see those shows, and there'll be 200 people in there just bidding up naughty books all day long.
That's wild, dude.
One of the first books I got from you, I don't know if you remember it or not. It was the Mario. It was like a Mario #1, maybe.
Super Mario Bros. 2.
Yeah, 2. Super Mario
Yeah.
Bros. 2. Yep.
Yeah,
That was one of the first books I got from you.
Dude, that's a fire book, and you got it for a steal. I remember it to this day because
I
when I
did.
found that book, I was like, "Ooh, the movie's gonna pop. I should get all these books together." And I don't remember if I had it in my buy it now or if I ran
You
it.
did.
But, so I made
had
the
it.
mistake of putting it in there thinking no one's gonna get them, and I always try to make them a good deal. And I remember I was like, "Oh yeah, I got #2." And when I looked that book up later, I was like, "Oh my god, what did I do?" Like those books are
Well, and
they're
not to rub
valuable.
salt in the wound, but I was like, hey, what's a family and friends price?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and you gave me a deal like from your actual, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, from your asking price. So you gave me even a bigger hookup. But I also bought the color splash, so all the black and white turtles
Dude.
with just that set is.
That's like the best set, man. I've gone back to that artist and tried to get. I'm like, "Do you have any comp still?" And I've tried to get more sets, and there's a couple I could get, but originally what I did was I went to the artist and I tried to do a trade. So I was like, "I'll give you 20 of my exclusives. You give me, not 20 because it's 4 individual books, right?"
Right.
So like, give me 5 sets, 4 books, 5 sets. And so that's what I did. I got 5 sets, and I was like, I'll keep 1 for me and I'll sell the other 4 sets off. And then it'll be worth it, even though I gave up my books. And there was a guy who comes to most of my streams, 3M. He messaged me like 2 days after he got his set, those black and white color splashes in. He took them to a convention and got them double signed, all of them. And I'm like, what? So it's cool to see stories like that because I don't even have it. You know what I mean? Like those
Yeah.
sets are dope. And he's like, "Oh
Yep.
man, I'm on your stream and I know I'm going here. How fast can I get these books?" He lives in Southern California. I'm in Central. He gets the books, goes to the convention, and he gets Kevin Eastman and Tom Waltz to sign each book. And then he sends me pictures, and I'm like, "Did you buy more from somebody else and they were signed?" He's like, "No, I got these signed today." And I was like, I mean, like that's cooler than what I had. Like, he's like, "Yeah, how cool is this? Thanks." And I'm like, "Dang, you want to sell them back to me now?"
Do you
Well,
ever
let's,
send?
uh,
Do you ever send stuff to people that you know are going to signings, like to get it signed for you?
100%. I've
Yeah.
even, so I tried this. I had a bunch of stuff on my shop for a turtle show actually. And, no, ironic right now. Of course, it was turtles, and I had a Raphael #1 in like the most mint condition. We're talking, if it graded the way I think it would grade, it's around a $1,500 book.
Damn.
And I always try to give people good deals, and I sold it I think for $750 to this guy. And I was talking about, "Oh, I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to see Kevin Eastman." And he goes, "How much to get it signed?" And I was like, "Ooh, you want? Oh, damn." I was like, "Well, I don't know the details of the convention. Like, can I only get 5 books signed from him, or is he going to charge $50 a signature?" I didn't know. And I said, "I'll tell you what. I'm gonna run the book for $750, and then whoever wants it will get it." And I was like, "Or if you want it, I'll just add in a $50 signature fee, and then I'll take it, get it signed, and send it back to you." And he's like, "Deal." So $800. I take it with me to Vegas. It's one of the books I get signed. I send it back to him, and then he's like, damn, I should have just had you send it to CGC while you were at the convention because you just
yellow
got it
label.
signed. Yeah, to get it yellow label slabbed. So you could still do it. Like there are ways to get that done.
So-
I'm actually a CGC witness now.
Okay,
But-
okay.
Yeah, but
what does that mean?
I'm-
What does that mean?
Yeah, let's touch on some of the things that we've talked about. Let's go to like the comic book basics. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people in the chat that maybe don't know some of the things we're like talking about, like trade, virgin, all that ratio, stuff like that. So and like what a remark is. Let's
Okay.
dumb it down, and
Yeah.
let's go
Can-
through that. Would that be
Can
cool?
we just note
Yeah.
that Javier had 2 turtles out of nowhere? Did anybody else?
Out of
I did-
nowhere.
I literally just noticed and put it away. I looked over. I thought it was his kid at first, and then I realized that there was 2 turtles. I see the comments of
No,
the turtles.
I had 3. I had 3 turtles,
Oh, you
Oh,
had 3
man.
turtles.
and then our special guest that just decided to leave on me. That he just left.
The
Are they
traumatized
both?
turtles.
I'm
Don't you
guessing
see their eyes?
I'm guessing you're a Leonardo fan.
My son's a Leo fan.
Okay,
Honestly, if I was to choose, it'd be Michelangelo.
Yeah.
That's the pizza eating motherfucker right there.
There he
Hell
is.
yeah,
There he
man.
is.
This is the junk drawer. This is the new junk drawer turtle exclusive.
Hell yeah!
Special shout out for my boy at Collectibles. So
Yo, if anybody's not gone through his Instagram, there is this one slab he has that I kind of want, but I know it's like way out of my price range.
I'll make you a deal. That's my downfall. I'll tell you guys the truth, and I'll break down some comic book knowledge for the whole chat for everybody. I'll get a book. I can't say I haven't turned a profit because I've had some really, really good shows, but for the most part, it's this weird thing with me. I'm gonna go on a tangent. When I was filming that competition TV show, the goal was to win, be number 1 for everybody on the show except for me. I won a big competition one day, and the host of the show was like, "Ooh, heavy lies the crown. Let's see you tomorrow." And I was like, "I don't care about winning. I want to talk to that guy about his business. That sounds really cool." And I spent like 2 days straight helping that guy get ready, and then he won the competition that next day. And it's like that's for me, the whole show experience was networking and helping other people get better. Like that's just me as a person. And it spills over into all of my businesses, unfortunately. Like I'm not a good businessman, I'll tell you that. If I get a nice slab and it costs me $300, but it's a $400 slab, and I'm like, ooh, I saved $100. Like I got a good deal. I'll turn around and then I'll be like, all right, I got a slab, and I'll list it for $350, so it's still a good deal. And then someone will say, could you do $290? And I go, okay for you. That doesn't make sense, but seeing how happy it makes somebody else, like that's the whole reason I do it. Like it's really about the experience. And I had somebody I sold a slab to, and he's like, this is my first graded comic ever. And I said, no way, like ever? And he's like, yeah, ever. I've never had a slab. And it was a nice 9.8. And I was like, dude, that just made me feel, I was happy. I was like, cool, man. I'm like, getting people into and it's the collecting side of it, and then it's also the comic book side of it. You can collect all kinds of things, and I mean we're collectors, but we all borderline on hoarders when it's something that we really like, right?
And that's where I'm at. I'm waiting for my first comic book slab to be a Ninja Turtles book, because there's a convention here that happens that the 92 movie Turtles come out to do autographs.
No shit.
Oh, where's this
that'd
at?
be sick.
Here in Dallas. I think they call it like retro something, and that's my goal. One of these days, just have that slab and have them autograph that slab, because I'm trying to build a collection of turtles for my boy, for him, for me to pass down to him.
This is so. Just talking about slabs and comics and stuff. Like this is the only like slab comic that I have by Akira Toriyama, which is an old Dragon Ball like Viz comics. Which is pretty sick, it's the only one I have.
That is sick.
But it's like, I've always seen like people slab up stuff, and I see the gold labels, I guess, for autos.
Yeah.
Yellow.
Yeah. Oh, yellow.
So
yeah.
we'll break down. So there's a couple of things. We'll go all the way back. So you have your just raw comic book, your regular book. They come in covers. for the most part. It'll be cover A, B, C, D, and depending on how many there are, it'll say exclusive. RE is retailer exclusive. And you mentioned ratios. So a ratio or an RI cover, it'll say Ninja Turtles 4 RI. That means retailer incentive or ratio incentive. And this is where it gets super nerdy. Essentially, it means, let's say this Ninja Turtle number 1 is the regular cover A. You have to buy 25 of these regular cover A's to qualify to unlock and buy 1 in 25 ratio, if that makes sense. So when you see ratios and people are like, why is that selling for so much? It's because Johnny on the street couldn't just go get that ratio. A retailer, a shop, either online or brick and mortar, had to buy those 25 cover A's to be able to get 1 exclusive. So ratios usually sell at the price of the ratio. So if a book is $3 and I gotta buy, 25 of them, right? So you're spending 75 bucks on one cover to get 1 other $3 book. But that now ratio is, a 1 in 25, and it'll sell for $25. And that keeps going. So if you're getting, like when I did my own exclusive, I did 1,200 books. So I got the 1 in 100s, however many I unlocked, I ordered all of them. The 1 in 250s, the 1 in 500s, and you're able to buy all of those. And the way that those work, which I didn't even know at first, I thought, okay, I unlocked a 1 in 500. What are the publishers going to charge me for it? Well, they just charge you the cover price of $3.99 or $8, whatever. It's the same price. But you unlocked it as a retailer. It's your incentive for buying so many, because you'll never sell that 1 in 500 for $8. You turn around and put it on eBay or your show, your stream, and you sell it for $250, $300, even $500 or more. There's like a 1 in 1,000 Berserker that then got signed by Keanu Reeves, and it was like $7,000. It's crazy.
Holy shit!
And it's a $3.99 book that got his, I don't know, maybe $200 autograph on it, and then sold for $7,000. It's comic books get crazy. So ratios are just the incentive for however many you buy, you unlock, more. If not every book will have a 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 500, but
they take them to grade them too, kind of how we do with cards.
Yes.
You'll pick through and you inspect the books just like a normal, like you would a trading card.
Yeah.
And you send it off. CGC is king when it comes to comic book grading, and you'll send it off to them to get graded. And that, some people do that with their ratios to again drive the value up.
Speaking
a
of
graded cover.
CGC, Randy asked, is CGC the premier comic grader? Like, there's no one above CGC when it comes to comics?
So there's 3, PGX, CGC, and CBCS. And I will tell you, there are pros and cons to each, but far and above is CGC. Their overall rating, I would say, like if we graded everybody 5 stars, they'd be the 4.8, 4.9 out of 5 stars. And then CBCS would be the next one down, maybe 3.5 stars. And then
Beckett?
PGX. Yeah, so I'll give you guys a good example.
Kinda.
Yeah, I mean, PGX is right around there, maybe a 3.0. They for comics now they grade video games and stuff like that, and they do better. But with comics, the reason CGC is, I mean, they're the front runner. They witness everything. So when I mentioned I'm a CGC witness, what that means is somebody is being paid to have physical eyes on the entire process of this is the artist or illustrator or whoever, story writer signing. Then they seal that, and then it goes off for grading. Every step of that process is observed and verified. Now, CBCS will charge you extra if you send them a signed book, and they'll go through and they have like handwriting analysis, and they'll have some expert verify that, oh, that is the right signature, and then they'll slap it and give it a yellow label as well and say, yes, but so if I had, let's say, a Spawn number 1, 2 of them, both signed by Todd McFarlane, allegedly, right? And you put them up next to me and said, all right, Spawn #1 signed by Todd McFarlane, both 9/8. One is CGC and one is CBCS. Even if the CBCS slab is cheaper, I'm going to want the CGC slab. Just for that, I know for a fact Todd McFarlane signed that one. And I'm going to tell you guys something shady, right? So I own a custom apparel business. And I had this guy come over to my shop. So my studio is my comic shop, and I sell comics not just on my online stream. And he wanted to buy a book, and he was like, "Oh, look at all this equipment for my other business." And I was like, "Yeah, this is what I do." And he's like, "Oh, cool. Hey, you got a Cricut?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You ever try to put a comic book in the Cricut?" And I was like, "To like cut something out?" And he's like, "No, they have pens, right? Couldn't you just copy an artist's signature, like the digital file, and then tell your Cricut to?" And I was like, "Son of a..." And I thought about it, and I was like,
We got to cut the stream here.
right? I was like, I wonder if someone has ever done this. Like, I didn't think about it, but the signatures are always different. I mean, it's the signature, so. But if you just saw like the exact same size signature all the time, I've never tried it. I don't have a comic book that I would want to waste to attempt it, and then that would just be fraud.
My wife's got a Cricut.
But it's not. It's as he said it, I was like, no, I've never. Like that's why all my yellow label slabs are CGC. Like I want to know that person signed it. But I started thinking about it, and I was like, somebody could be doing that. Like there's nothing stopping someone from just creating a digital file and then sending it off to like CBS or CBCS rather.
I got a Cricut right here, dude. Like, let's try it right now. Give me a Dragon Ball card.
I mean,
dude, the Pokemon card signatures. I never thought about that. Oh
yeah.
my god.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the technology exists. Yeah, it's nuts.
Whenever I just want to touch on signed books. So like CGC is so, I don't want to say the word strict, but I guess they want their eyes on everything, like he said. That like let's say you're on Whatnot, right? You see David Nakayama on Comic Traders. We'll use them because they always have they always have the artists doing live signings. So you're physically watching David Nakayama on screen, remarking, signing this book. You see him like blowing it to get it dry, and then they set it on the channel, and they run it at an auction. Kelly, who's the wife of Steve, the Comic Traders owner, she is like a Collectibles. She's a CGC, like she's the person that has her eyes on it, so she's good. But if you buy the book and it comes to your home, now mind you have video footage and everything, you cannot get a yellow label on that.
Yeah,
you have to like take that to a show or a convention. The easiest way would be to take it where the artist is. And as far as David Nakayama goes, what he does is he will re-sign over it. You go get a witness to come, and so then you get this like double layered sign, which is actually a dope signature, and it'll actually say on the label double signed by, because they can't yellow label it with the first signature. But he's there confirming, yes, I did the first signature, so now it can be double. But like that's how strict they are with the yellow label stuff. That's why I think that they're like, top dog. That's why I love the signature. It sucks for us as buyers.
Sounds like a pain in the ass.
We don't. It is, but it's super easy at a show, because all you got to do is go to CGC's booth and be like, hey, can you come witness this real quick? And they'll just come walk over there and do the whole thing for you. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah. It's pretty dope. Like once you know how to like that process, it's totally worth it. But I've heard horror stories from CBCS where people would send in, I'm going to keep using Spawn. They'd send in like a Spawn #1 signed by McFarlane, and it would come back. And then the label would be a yellow label, Mario #1, signed by, Johnny Nobody. And it's like, wait, what? How did you screw that up? And they would send it back to the customer. And so, I'll shout out to Chicks Comics. There's a bunch of veteran streamers when I first got on Whatnot, and they kind of helped me with like, oh yeah, you want to set up your show, you want to do X, Y, and Z, and Chicks Comics is another veteran comic retailer. And she was telling me, yeah, we just got this book back from CBCS, and I was like, oh, she's like, yeah, wrong title, wrong signature, like it's clearly not even the same book, and I'm like, oh, that's a nightmare. And I was like, well, just like everything else in life, you can learn from other people's mistakes. I was like, well, never send anything to CBCS then. Just stick with CGC. So
Yeah.
it makes it easier. Then you do get
So-
into. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, since we're talking grading, can you want to dabble in grades, like how their
Man,
grade scale kind of goes? Not super in depth, but just
sure.
the touch of base, so people kind of have a little bit of base knowledge.
Yeah. So it it's subjective. Almost anywhere that you find a retailer, whether it's eBay, whatnot, Instagram, wherever, and if it's not already slabbed and graded, they'll say, I am not a professional grader, but to me this is near mint plus, meaning this is like a 9.0 to anything above that. And essentially, depending on the genre or era of the book, the grading companies treat it a little bit differently. So if it's silver age, or an older book, let's say 1960, they will be a little more lenient on spine ticks or imperfections, like on the spine where you see a color break. Let me see if I have a book that actually has one. This Michelangelo is good because it's black. So pretty much, and I was like, there's no spine ticks, damn it. There's one. So there's a spine tick right here underneath the M, and on a black cover, let me see. There you go. You can see
Oh, I
like a
see it.
little white line, looks like a crack. So that'd be a spine tick, and it's not too old of a book. But if I send this off, everything else considered, still really good color. The corners look good. Nothing is missing. They may not knock too much off from one spine tick. It is a color breaking spine tick though, because these black covers from Solson are notorious. But that could still be a 9.0 or higher, even with one spine tick. Now, two spine ticks, you're probably, depending on the age of the book, you're probably knocked out of the nines. Just really depends. But I have First Phoenix, so an X-Men, Uncanny X-Men 101. I believe it's a 6.5. And that thing has like 15 spine ticks. But it's an older book and it's a big key issue. And so I think 6.5, I'm like, oh, okay, this is a 6.5. I would have probably graded it lower, me looking at it, but the age of the book plays a lot into it. So newer books, they you can see a lot of 9.6s and be like, well, this book looks perfect. 9.6 and 9.8, it's up to the grader on the day. Whoever is there for that company looking at your book. I have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 7, second print, which is a cool rare book, and I believe it's a 9.6. And then I had like a TMNT first print number 2 9.6. And when I look at them, there's a clear spine tick on the number 7. And I'm like, okay, 9.6 with a spine tick. And I look at the first print number 2, no spine ticks. And I'm like, wait a minute, how the hell are you both 9.6s then? Because the difference is, my Ninja Turtles number 2 as a 9.6, that's it's a few $100. But in a 9.8, we're talking thousands of dollars. No spine ticks. I'm very tempted to crack that slab open and resend it in, because I've got another 9.6 right next to it. And I'm like, okay, if you got a spine tick and you're a 9.6, how the hell are you not a 9.8? And that's just the grader. Whoever graded those books on that day was like, there's a little tiny mark on the bottom here, whatever it is. And it's usually slight crease on the cover, slight this, or light wear. And you can get that pressed and cleaned out a lot of time. That's a whole nother part of comic books. And getting a professional to actually put it in a heat press, flatten the pages out, flatten the wrinkles, or sometimes they can get spine ticks that aren't color breaks out and really restore that comic book to near perfection, and then get them graded. CGC even offers that service.
That's like a big thing.
Can
for
you get
people,
a
right?
10?
Cleaning.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I got a guy that I use. He's in Arizona. I just package my books up, ship them to him. He'll press and clean them and send them back. He's a college guy. I usually pay him with books. Like if I'm gonna send him my Secret Wars 8 soon. I need to get that over to him, and I usually throw a couple versions in there for him. I'm like, here you go, and he's like, cool. You can pay me in comic books or you can pay me in cash. And he's good either way.
Shit.
And I think 9.8 is like 9.8 would be like that. That's what people like strive for. 9.9s obviously and 10s are amazing, but they're very rare. Am I wrong?
Few and far between. I mean, really, depending on, again, like the book or the age of the book, 9.0 and higher are good. But 9.8 would be a collector's. Yes, I got a 9.8. If you send a book off and it comes back at 9.8, you've got no complaints at all. You're happy. I mean, if you
That's like
want... Go ahead.
It's like a BGS 10 for our TCG, like a Beckett 10 in our grading cards, and then like a 9.9 or a 10 would be like a black, probably even more than rare than a black label, but a black label.
So you can get 9.9s and 10s. Like it does go past 9.8.
I have
Yep.
several. Yeah, you can get. Yeah, so there's near mint and then it's gem mint. So perfect, essentially. I actually have 4 or 5 10.0 Last Ronins.
Oh, what
I
is
gotta-
it? What does that 10 look like? Is there like a special label, like a color header that they give it, or?
So that is cool. That's a great question. So essentially, you got a blue label for a book that's unsigned, gold label for signed or signed and remarked, and then the grading is always a white square with black numbers. So it'll be a white square with a black 9.8. Once you hit 9.9, it turns to gold font or gold color. So that 9.9 is gold 9.9, and the 10 is gold. Even
So it's
though
like
the
the
rest of the
old-
label might be blue. Yeah, it goes.
It's
it-
like the
it-
old
it stands
CGC
out.
pristines.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you have one that you could show us? So 10, just so I can see what that looks like.
Yeah, I'll grab a 10 and a 9 and a 9.9.
Yeah, pull it out like Drake.
I'm like, do I have one right next to me?
Oh no.
Yes, yes.
So while he's grabbing that, I collect artists sometimes because of their signature. Like I don't know if you guys can even see. Hold on. I don't know if you guys can even see this or not, but like his signature is like
That looks like
wild.
graffiti.
Oh, that's just fire.
And like how good. And then this is who we did shared the book with is Ryan Kincaid. So this is another artist. Like look at how good his signature is.
Yeah, it's fire.
Like for me, Zerdy has one of the best signatures, and sometimes because he signs Nathan Zerdy, sometimes he'll do Nathan in one color and Zerdy in a second color. So for me, like I don't want
titties.
just like a squiggle, you know what I mean? Like I want like a dope if I'm gonna pay somebody to sign their books, like I want it to look pretty dope, and he's always doing something extra.
Yeah, you don't want a Ricky Bobby signature.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, shout out Mewtwo Mike for the 6-month sub, bro. Appreciate you, homie.
Yeah, I
I
accidentally resubbed my 6 months, Gunny. I didn't cancel it. I accidentally resubbed. GG's. Fucking stupid.
Oh,
Alright.
God.
So I'll show you guys first. This is a first print Last Ronin #1. So this is kind of a grail book right now, especially with Last Ronin 2,
I need
like
one of
Volume
those,
2
by the
coming
way.
out. Oh man, I got a couple. So it's the
Holy
original
shit.
cover. It's blue
Babe.
label because it's unsigned, but then that 9.9 is gold.
Oh, dude, that
Oh, yeah.
cover is so sick.
That's
Yeah, it's
badass.
fire. So this one, blue label as it's unsigned, but then gold 9.9 because they're recognizing, okay, you hit mint.
Can I
So
have that?
9.9 is mint, and then 10.0 will say gem mint, I believe. I don't
Looks
stare
like
at
a
them
brick.
long enough. So then I've got another Last Ronin #1. This is a retailer exclusive, so it's not the cover A, B, C, or D. This is a Peach Momoko. That's the artist, and this
Oh,
is a
dude.
10.
Holy
That's
shit.
Fire.
Yeah, so blue label 10, and then it says underneath the 10, you probably can't see it. It says gem mint. It's really
Oh,
small
dude,
writing there,
That's
but
so sick, dude. I need graded comics ASAP, dude.
You know what they should do
yeah.
for the graded comics? You know how they switch the graded cards from pristine that gold 10? They should do
Oh.
they should put the graded 10 CGCs in the new style pristine with like
that would be nasty.
and then
I-
this
Gold.
this is a gem mint signed and remarked Last Ronin. So this is a gold label 10, and it's hard to see on camera, but if you gotta have the right angle. It's signed by Kevin Eastman, and it has a little Last Ronin drawing, but he did it in black. I'll see.
So
if I can
it's
get
hard to see, but I see it.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
right
you can see
there.
it a little bit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see it. Yeah.
Kevin Eastman is the creator of the Turtles too.
Is he the creator or the co-creator?
So this is for me, this is a contention point. Of the comic book run, he is the co-creator. However, if you watch any documentary or old interview with Peter Laird, who is the other co-creator, and Kevin
That's the
Eastman,
one I've heard of, Peter Laird.
yeah. So if you watch any interview with them when they talk about it, the story is always the same. Kevin Eastman on a little napkin drew a Ninja Turtle. He drew a turtle with a bandana and like nunchucks, and like gave him weapons. And he took it to Peter Laird and was like, "Oh, check this out." And they were just kind of goofing off. So Kevin Eastman birthed it. At that moment, for me, it dawned Kevin Eastman created the Ninja Turtles. And he's like, "Yeah, I drew a Ninja Turtle." And then Laird redrew it, put a little more stuff, add a couple more weapons, and then added a Teenage Mutant part. So co-creators of the comics, but as far as I'm concerned, the person that put, pencil or pen to paper and created a Ninja Turtle was Kevin Eastman.
I mean,
Now, Peter Laird's signature goes for a hell of a lot more, though.
does it really?
I'll sell books all day with Kevin Eastman's signature because he's out and about and does it. Peter Laird.
Yeah, he signed a lot less.
Yeah, Peter Laird signs much less. He doesn't drive, so he doesn't go to Comic Cons. He doesn't fly, so he doesn't go to these big conventions. He will drive if there's a close convention to where he lives. So I had maybe 6 books that were signed and sketched by Peter Laird, and I sold each of them for $200 or $250 a piece. And
So,
regular books, like they weren't $200 books on their own. That was just because he signed them that they went for that value.
That's crazy. What's the most expensive comic that you've sold?
That's a good question.
Actually, we'll make that a 2-part question. Most expensive comic you sold, and then most expensive comic you bought.
Okay. So the most expensive comic book I've sold, it was worth way more than I sold it for. I had a 9.9 6 times signed Last Ronin book, and I should have sold that for a couple of grand, and I sold it for $550.
I gotta come to your streams, man. It sounds like
yeah,
deals are flying around out here.
I was having a good show. It was going good.
He's the plug.
I think I made, like, this isn't a brag, but I think on that show specifically, it was like I made a little over $3,000. I was only streaming for a couple hours, and I was like, "Damn, this show's going good." And then we were like, "Show us some slabs," and I was like, "Yeah." And I showed off a couple, and they go, "Ooh, how much for the 9.9?" And I was just like, no one's gonna buy it. It's a 9.9 6 times signed. It's too expensive. I didn't even know. I was like, I don't know. And so, kind of as a joke, I set it down. So I switched to camera 2, right? I set down. Oh, this is the second print number 7 that I was mentioning earlier. This isn't the slab one. I have a couple raw. So I set it down and I ran it at $550 as a joke, thinking no one's paying $550 tonight, because it was a whole bunch of small stuff that I ran on that show, nothing big. And someone bid, and my heart dropped. I went,
shit.
oh no, what have I done? Why did I run that so low? And he was like, I can't believe it. Thank you so much. And I was like, my wife's gonna kill me. I just screwed up. I couldn't believe it. I was so upset. And I was like, that's what I get. And you would think, lesson learned, right? If I'm having a slow show sometimes to wake people up, I'll put a $200 book down and run it at like $80 just to see if anybody's awake. And sometimes it's just to prove that they're all just waiting for a giveaway for a free book. I'm like, we don't just give away goblins in here, and I'll run a book. 9 times out of 10,
Javi.
I regret it, and someone steals that book. And, I'm
Javi.
like, dang it, what am I doing?
Javi's a givey guy. Dude, Javi sends me messages like 1 o'clock in the morning. Yo, check out the sneaker giveaway. Oh my God, dude. God, go to sleep.
Bro, but the only categories I cannot stand to win is comics and shoes.
Oh, man.
Dude, by the way, that's you
So
have
I
a
think-
pretty sick camera setup. I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever told you that. That's a nice setup you have.
Thank you. It's half of the camera's set up right now. I have this desk. So this is desk 1, 2, 3, 4 desks in the studio, and then essentially different comics are set up at different desks. And this is the main one where I would run, but the other 2 cameras are off. So
Are
I
those
only have
socks?
camera 1 and 2 on. What's that?
That's
Are those socks?
Socks?
Yeah.
Where?
That box, the black box to your, I want to say
Oh,
left.
this right here?
Yeah.
No. This is. Oh, and I grabbed this one for I know a guy. He mentioned he's like 2 things are
That's
Turtles
the
and
one I
Power
saw
Rangers.
that I was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
oh, dude, that's
Uh,
sick.
So this is 3 times remarked and 4
So
times signed.
touch on what a remark is real quick so they understand when you're saying remark so they know what you're saying.
So essentially, when the cover is done, the book is slabbed, right? Or before it gets slabbed, when the cover is done, whether it's a blank cover or has artwork, that's it. That's the finished product. And then the artist can sketch on top of it with a little doodle or a drawing or sign it, or they can, it varies between sketch and remark. Essentially, a sketch is usually just like a penciled or an inked outline of something, and a remark can get a little bit more detailed. This depends, but essentially they're both the same, sketch, remark. It just means that the artist did a doodle. They drew something on top of the cover extra just for you or for whoever was requesting at the time. So that one that I just showed off was a partially blank cover. It's got the title of the book, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers TMNT Volume 2, issue number 1, and then it's just turtle green blank. And Kevin Eastman, the Escorza brothers, and Eddie Nunez all signed it, and then those other 3, Eastman didn't do a remark, just a signature. The other 3 each did a remark, and it's Master Splinter, one of the Turtles, and then Shredder's grandson. So those are remarks where they draw something extra on there, and they usually charge quite a bit. Just depends on the artist. Sometimes a quick remark could be $50. Sometimes a remark is $150. It really depends.
And they typically, TGC recognizes all sketches and remarks as sketches.
Yeah,
like on the label, it'll say, signed and sketched by.
Yeah, so these are just sketches. These are blank boards where the artist Ajad Shah went through and drew something different on each board. And those are just blank sketches. The box you were asking about, this is a large Last Ronin size box. So it's got all the turtles on front, but inside of it, I mean, I got like a first print TMNT number 7, but then all like my Last Ronin books are in here that are raw. Some of my raw signed books and stuff like that. That's what I keep inside here. I used to keep
storage box.
Yeah, it's a
okay,
comic book box. It's just
Okay.
it's hard to see from that angle. Instead of a regular white box that like a BCW box, it's a custom box, and it's extra large to fit the fat magazine size books in.
I just saw the eyes in there. I was like, man, I gotta know what the hell that is. Is those
Yeah, no,
socks?
I'm not gonna lie. It does like the sock display, right?
You know what? If I look at it on the screen, I could see that. I could see it.
Yeah.
I'll show you. Show off the box. It's a sick box.
Oh shit!
What?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
That's dope, dude.
Yeah.
So when we were talking about color splash earlier, that's what a color splash is. When a cover is black or white, and then they just have one splash of color on the book somewhere. So those would be considered color splashes.
Yeah,
that's my favorite. Black and white or black and white color splash are my absolute favorite. Like sometimes you get a colorist who's so good, and that's something people don't realize too. The cover artist isn't usually also the colorist. It's usually 2 different artists, if not more than 2. But I love when an artist does like a first sketch. When I was doing my exclusive, he sent me just the black and whites. He had just drawn them out, and I was like, ooh, that's what I want that. He's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna ink them and then send them to the colorist. And I'm like, damn, why did I say color? Because I love the black. I'm like, just do a little color. It just really pops, and that's just personal preference. That's what I like.
Yeah. No, I mean it's sick. It's fucking sick.
This is this book. Now this is actually Sabine Rich is actually she's one of the large colorist in comic books. But this is actually her cover. But she and David Nakayama did another Lilo and Stitch, like what he's talking about. So she was the colorist, and it was David's cover. Like he created it, and then she came in and did the coloring. So this is her book, and she's the colorist on this one. But it's just an example of a colorist, and not always is the person that's on the cover, they don't write the story always. They don't always write the book.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're just the cover artists that you have sign them. So it's really cool when like Eastman and those guys sign, because they actually, and Todd McFarlane, who the creator of Spawn, like those guys like actually made the character, made the storyline, which is pretty dope.
I'm gonna pull something badass out now.
Yeah,
Just
Spawn's,
to,
Spawn's got some good shit.
This
Oh,
is a
yeah.
Todd McFarlane cover. So Flaming Carrots is like a Dark Horse comic book. This is Todd McFarlane's cover, signed by Todd McFarlane, and it's Todd McFarlane Ninja Turtles. So he drew the
Oh
cover,
my gosh.
and I got it signed by Todd McFarlane and Kevin Eastman.
Yeah,
So
that's
this
so
is
sick.
like, it's one of my personal little Grail books here. But I have a funny story about Sabine Rich, but I don't want to be negative. But essentially, I was working with Sabine I was working with her for a couple of months on an exclusive, and you've never seen it because it obviously didn't work out. So I don't buy any of her books anymore. No, she's still great, but it just it was a really weird situation that fell through. So she used to be the colorist for a lot of other artists. In fact, she was, I think, the exclusive colorist for a while for J. Scott Campbell. And as a comic book artist, he's probably done the best as far as marketing his exclusives. Signed J. Scott Campbell books always sell out completely. You go to his website, everything's gone. His Spawn books are amazing. Sabine was going to do a TMNT Splintered Fate exclusive for me. And this is bittersweet to talk about because when you have ideas in the comic book world, it's sort of like if you have kids, or you have people who have kids, they don't like to talk about the names until the baby is here, right? Until the baby's born, because then someone steals the name. Oh, I love that, and I'm a couple months into my pregnancy, beyond you, so I'm gonna have my baby first, and you had that cool name, and I'm gonna steal it. Comic books are similar. When there's solicitation for exclusives coming out, you don't want people to know your idea for a cover, because another artist in comic book shop might be like, damn, that's a better idea than what we were gonna do. Let's draw that up. And then they may try to take that idea and get to market first. So I'll mention it now because that book is already out and I didn't do it, but I could still use this cover. And I don't care if someone else steals it, I'll buy the book because I'll want this cover. But there's a scene in the OG, like in the 90s Turtle movie, where Splinter and the Foot have kidnapped, or not, Shredder and the Foot have kidnapped Splinter. And in the movie, he's chained up on that chain link fence.
Yeah.
And in his rags, and he looks dead, and he's chained up. Well, TMNT Splintered Fate is it's a comic book that's supposed to tie in to their mobile game. And essentially, the storyline is all these portals open up, and Splinter is taken, and the turtles got to like travel through these portals to try and find him. And the really crappy thing that they do is in the last issue, to find out what happened, there's just a QR code to scan and download the game. And I'm like, oh, that's dirty. But anyway, my idea for the cover was to have portals opening up, and the turtles are like coming through to attack, and the scene that they're coming through, because Splinter has been taken by Shredder, would be Shredder standing and like pointing, like he's yelling at Splinter, and Splinter would be chained on that fence like he was in the movie.
That's
and I'm like,
sick.
how badass would it be to like homage the movie like that?
Yeah.
Splinter just standing or stuck to the, and Shredder looking at him, and then the turtles are like, not today, coming through the portal. And I was like, Sabine. And I gave her these ideas, and it's very difficult to communicate with her because unless she's streaming with Comic Trader, she's not in Canada or the US. She's in, I believe, Germany. So the time difference, I was trying to message her and wait for a reply and vice versa. And I have like my comic book, I showed you guys my exclusive. That's exactly what I wanted. I wanted them on the beach, facing off on opposite covers. So I kind of spewed my idea out, and then that was it. I was like, okay, you're the artist. I don't want to stifle the creativity. This is my vision, but you go do your thing. So I tried to do the same thing with Sabine. I was like, okay, this should be pretty easy. You're just going to homage a scene from the movie. But this is what I'm thinking, but kind of do your thing. Because she does really good. Like, I have some amazing Venom covers that she's done where it's just Venom and gorgeous watercolor. And I'm like, I don't want to give you too much info. I want it to be a Sabine Rich cover. And after a couple of months, I'm like, hey, I need to see the proof of it. I've got to give it to the publisher. and she's like, "Hey, I got a lot of stuff going on, other covers and stuff." She's like, "I'm not gonna be able to get this done in time." And I was like, "Whoa! If you didn't take 3 months to tell me, I could have just paid another artist and still done my exclusive." So I missed out. That was gonna be my second exclusive with Comic Traders. I was looking at other artists. They recommended Sabine Rich. It didn't work out. Long story short, but yeah, crazy.
That's wild. My production and press company, if you guys recorded that conversation, we'll get to the sketching board later about that. I'll print that for you. Don't worry, we'll get you a copy, buddy.
Dude, yeah, I want to see it. I don't care if someone else does it. I mean, maybe there'll be a storyline where I could, do a callback to it. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm doing a TMNT #1. That wouldn't be well, it wouldn't work out because the storyline for the new TMNT, but
Well, I was
that
just
would
saying,
have been a cool
you can't like
throwback.
backtrack and try to make that work in a sense, or
I mean, I probably could. I threw out an idea to IDW, and they were like, "Oh man, that's amazing. We love it." But no, can't do that. And it was a different idea. Well, I could tell you because I wasn't allowed to do it. So that means nobody can do it. Oh man, it's not gonna come through. I sort of did. I have a couple of. Don't laugh at my images on my phone. It's art. It's artwork that this is what was kind of in my head for something I wanted. Oh shoot, did I save them? And I sent them to the artist I'm working with for my #1, and I was like, "Hey, what do you think about this? Okay, you'll appreciate. Like, this is a color splash. You're not gonna be able to see it on my phone, of course. Maybe if I cover my face.
That's sick.
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
dude, get in the fucking van. You know what I'm saying? I
Right?
can see it.
Okay.
I can see it.
So check it out. TMNT #1. Spoiler alert for anybody that's watching that actually reads comics and knows what's going on. Issue 150 is going to come out and it's going to end with a bang. And then issue #1 is going to start the new journey. Now, this is big spoilers, I guess, for people. If you read like Armageddon Game and the ongoing series, you would know what's going on. But essentially, in issue 1, New York is in distress. Like, mutants and humans alike are kind of trying to just figure out how to pick up the pieces and move on. Jennifer's around. Donatello has traveled back to the past. So that might be a spoiler. He's here now. He sees the devastation of what's going on in the wake of the events, right? And then the story will start from there. And so I thought, how cool, and I'll show you guys a stupid one now. I showed you that one, but I thought,
Johnny, do you know who Jenica is?
oh, Jenny,
You know Jenica, who Jenica is?
she's the new female turtle.
No.
Have you seen the female turtle?
No.
Wait,
Yeah, they got
what?
They got a
man.
yellow turtle.
Yeah,
Yellow?
she's the yellow
What?
turtle. Yeah, she
Her headband is yellow.
was a member
Oh,
of the
headband.
clan, and then she realized that she was a bad guy, didn't want to be a bad guy. Essentially, that was a really oversimplification. She gets injured, and then the turtles are like, "Oh, we can save her. The mutagen in our blood could heal her." And what was it? Was it Leo or Donnie? One of them basically does like a blood transfusion, hoping the mutagen in his blood will heal her. And then they're shocked because it actually turns her into a turtle. So
It was
So-
definitely Donatello. He got that
yeah,
dog in him.
right? He does. Right? He's like,
Bro,
we're
I
gonna
thought you
do
were-
this the old-fashioned way.
I thought you were gonna tell me something wild, dude. I was saying, what's going on?
So
He's like, there's
my
5 turtles.
my
I'm
thought
sitting
process
here
for
thinking like he's gonna inject her somewhere else, dude. I don't know.
right.
Fucking turtles, dude.
He gave her the ooze, man.
Wow.
So Donnie has traveled back, from the future. And so I wanted a black and white cover of him stepping out of like the TMNT van, but the van would be like the DeLorean. So I want
Fuck yeah.
like a Donnie Marty
Oh
McFly.
my god, dude. What, dude?
That's
Okay.
AI for sure, was it?
That's AI, yes.
Yeah,
So-
100%.
So I wanted to make a cover where it'd be like a virgin cover, and I know, guy, you're gonna be able to picture this with me, all right? It's like the streetway in front of the old clock tower, right? The flames from the DeLorean will be on the road, so the cover will be black and white. There'd be the yellow, like fire flames, but instead of it being the DeLorean he's stepping out of, it would be the TMNT van. Like as if he used that to travel in time. So it's like just flames. The van would be black and white. flames, and then Donnie would be stepping out, and then just the purple bandana or his goggles, and he'd be like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, just looking like the first picture I showed you. Like, what the hell? That was my idea, and the artist is like, dude, that's sick. Let's do it. And I'm like, IDW owns Back to the Future IP, so this shouldn't be a problem. They're like, you cannot use licensed characters from another intellectual property. I'm like, but it's not. I mean, Marty McFly, they're not in it. I'm just Donnie is kind of. And they're like, you can't do it. That's so cool. And I was like, we can still do it. You just can't give him the orange vest, you know. And but I was like, we could still do a cover and just pretend it's not Back to the Future.
Listen,
You can do a hoverboard.
all you got to
Right.
do is pitch it to Nike and have them that 1 foot out has a Nike Air Mag on, and you're
And
in.
he's got a little Nike on his vest.
Bro, yes,
He's got the Nike vest on.
Dude, that's even better, right? They'd have to be modified so his two big toes are sticking out.
Yeah,
but
right.
Just those shoes, man, that'd be fire.
Dude, we
And
just-
then like the blue from those shoes would be the only other color like coming out, like just spot color popping. In
The
certain
lights,
areas.
yeah, like the
Oh,
lights
yeah,
on the
dude.
shoe
Just
or
broke-
whatever
just
lit
broke-
up.
Broke the marketing ceiling right there, dude.
Then I'll
Fucking
just
Wow.
do 10. I'll do limited prints of 10 medals, and then each set of 10 will have different color Nike swoosh on his shoes.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
See,
Hello,
listen,
Nike-
I'm saying
Nike?
nobody says no to Nike. Yeah, nobody says
Right?
no to Nike. So apparently Kanye does, but you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Different
So
stuff.
that was my idea. They shot it down. So we're in the process of working out a new one. That and my local comic book shop, he finally retired, so I can't use his Penguin House account.
Shit.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to hit up another shop or something and figure out an account. Like all I need is the account so that Penguin knows where to send them to. And it's like it doesn't impact anyone, but it's such a weird thing to ask for. And it was probably a 1 in a million shop that the guy.
I'll
he
go.
didn't let me
I'll go
use
right
his.
to Jay and Silent Bob's fucking comic book shop, and I will
Oh,
ask them.
dude.
Be like, listen, there's this guy. We had him on the. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just need a number. What is it? 10 digits? 9 digits? I just need the number. That's it.
Dude,
Just come out.
That's it.
Just come out with the Mexican Ninja Turtle covers. You know, it's them fighting on tall ass grass. One has a lawnmower. One has a weed eater. The other one with the leaf blower. One, you know what I'm saying?
The color's not over their
What?
eyes. It's just a band around the sombrero. You know what I'm saying?
Teenage Mutant
One's
Ninja
on-
Turtles and
one's
the
on a
Adventures
roof.
of the Chupacabra.
One's on a room.
Battle the Alamo.
Bro, how amazing would that cover be?
Dang.
Javier, it's just, what's up? What's up?
What's up,
I'm
fool?
just saying.
What's
We
up,
call
fool?
They all got plaid shirts on, buttoned with just the top
Bro.
button.
Bro,
High ass
dude.
sock.
Knee-high
Dude.
socks, yeah.
Doing something.
Bro, you do an alternate universe of the Ronin with the poncho in the desert, dude. That would be
Oh my god.
fire, bro. And like you know how like the ponchos, Mexican ponchos, they have like those crazy designs, dude. That's your color splash. The design on the poncho with all their bandana colors. That'd be sick, dude. Somebody hire me. I need
That
to
would be sick.
Oh, somebody get their
this is a-
manager on the phone right now, dude.
This is a fun story. When I reached out to IDW to complain that I couldn't get a hold of their solicitors, like the person in charge of sales, I was like, hey, like, is this guy still work here? What's going on? And they messaged me back and like, yeah, they had just had like a big walk off. They lost a lot of employees at IDW. They were hiring for that role. And she's like, why don't you send me your resume? And I was like, what? So in the middle of trying to get my first exclusive, IDW's like vice president is like, send me your resume. And I'm thinking, oh wow, how crazy would this story be if I'm already doing what was unthinkable at the time, getting my first exclusive rolling, and I end up getting a job at IDW. I was overqualified. She didn't even say nothing. They hired this guy straight out of college, and he emailed me like a week later. He's like, "Hi, I'm Ryan. I'm the new guy." And I was like, "Oh man, I
Like,
should've
listen,
said-
motherfucker, you're gonna
I
do
should've-
exactly
There's
what
a
I said
fucking Ryan.
because I almost had your job and I can still take it if I want to.
she was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And then I sent the resume, and they're like, "She's like, are you trying to get my job?" And I was like, "Well, maybe."
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
We see your you know, obviously you're a veteran. You've got all this you know, all this learning behind you. This is great.
Yeah.
You would do really well in our stock room. You know what I mean? Like super overqualified. We're just
Yeah.
gonna place you somewhere in the
Yeah.
building.
Yeah. No, I actually
So-
I just landed a VP job with another company,
Oh shit!
but that would have been
damn.
cool to work for IDW.
Yeah, that's sick. That's fucking awesome, dude.
So I
that's
gotta-
awesome, man.
I got a question. So, a lot of times in like the trading card world, Pokemon is pretty much all I know. But when there's print runs of cards, there are error cards. Are there error comic books too?
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I just sold one. This is a really good example.
Is
actually.
it stuff like misspelling or is it like missing?
Both.
Oh, okay.
So I've shown this off a few times. This is Tales of TMNT #1. Now there is an error print where this doesn't say Tales of TMNT. It just says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and number
Hmm.
4. It was supposed to be the second print for number 4, like the original TMNT #4 that came out in the 80s. And what they were doing was they had Tales of TMNT coming out around the same time, issue 1. And they screwed up and printed the Tales of TMNT issue 1 as TMNT issue 4.
Or
That's thousands of dollars for that error.
oh,
I
really?
almost
Okay.
bought one the other day, but I'm like, I'll never resell it. So it's too much money for me to have just to have it in my collection to say, "Ooh, I've got this error print." But
And that's
yeah,
that
they
was
exist.
that was my next question. Does obviously like errors in Pokemon, especially when they're graded and like they're significant errors, they're not just like, oh, hollow bleed. It's like,
Yeah.
no rarity symbol or
Oh.
this, that, or the other. So is it? I
Even-
would assume
even
the
raw.
prices go crazy, right?
Absolutely. So, I mean, this was at the time $1.50 for that cover. So, if you had paid $1.50 and got that error print, you could sell a a decent copy, not 10 or anything, but a decent raw for probably $600 for that error print. Yeah, and that would probably be getting it cheap. Now, TMNT #3 had an error print as well, where they doubled up. It's called the White Laird, and on the cover of TMNT #3, it's like the van is driving. The turtles are in their little V-Dub bug van, and in the background it says Laird Shop, I believe, or Laird something, and the cover got double printed. And when Laird printed the second time, it was white, and so it's that error print for a raw book is like $3,000.
Holy shit!
Yeah, that one's nuts. I have a
So-
couple spawn errors, and they go for like $20 more.
So is
They're
that like
artist proof.
okay?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, is it? I would assume so. Like in Pokemon, I swear, like, you could find an error card on just about anything. Like, there's always errors. Even back in like the Wizard of the Coast stuff, like, there's tons and tons and tons of like, no stage errors or red dot errors, like ink dot errors and stuff like that. There's tons of them. I would assume there's not a lot of these comic book
So
ones for specific like print
Yeah.
runs, I guess you could say.
They do a few things with comics that some collectible cards do, and they're called APs or artist proofs, right? And essentially, that's where they're supposed to work out issues. You'll have like an AP 1 through whatever, and those are the ones that the manufacturer, the publisher, will print out and give to the artist to say, "Yeah, there you go."
Does
APs
it
at
Sega? Oh,
30.
It says AB30. It's just
Yeah.
hard to see.
So they'll be numbered just like that, and AP means that's Zerdy's artist proof number 30.
okay.
So they'll make a couple of proofs. They'll do a quick print run, and the artist will sign off and say, "Oh yeah, that's everything's right," or they'll make a change if something is wrong. So it's not as frequent in exclusives. I almost had my entire print run printed as errors because
Shit.
for TMNT vs Street Fighter issue 1, they had retailer incentives, or those ratios, all the way up to the 1 in 500. So even if you bought 1,000, there was no 1 in 1,000 cover. They just didn't make one. My book was essentially going to be the 1 in 1,000 cover ratio. They sent it to me, all the proof, and it was TMNT vs Street Fighter, and it said RI. And so I'm looking at it, and I thought the first time I was reviewing, I'm like, okay, I didn't order trade, so there should have been no writing. I ordered a virgin cover, or undressed, which sounds dirtier than virgin somehow. So there should have been no trade, no information on it. So I'm messaging them back, and I was like, okay, well, that looks good, except for 2 issues. The artist's signature, like his on the image signature, was cut off, so you got to fix the image, and it's a virgin copy, not a trade. And like, okay. So then like day later, they send it back to me. The artist signature is corrected. Everything looks good, and it says RI. And I'm like, should say RE, retailer exclusive. It's my exclusive. It is not an incentive that every shop will be able to buy. So they would have had an error print, and I'm like, no, you can send me 1,200, and I'll say that it's the 1,000 ratio, and I'll sell them for a ton of money. I'll sell 5 of them and keep the rest. You know what I mean? Like I'll just sell them for a bunch of money. But I was like, no, I want my virgin. And they're like, oh, so sorry, and they fixed it. But if I didn't catch that, they were about to print my exclusives as if they were ratios. So gotta be careful.
So it's funny that book I just showed when we were talking about APs. Steve and Kelly were telling a story from Comic Traders, telling a story about how Zerdy and Kirkham or Kincaid, sorry, Ryan Kincaid, who did that cover together. They were kind of like they did it as like a joke. So artist proofs usually like collectibles you can collect. You can correct me. I don't know. Isn't it like it's a low print, like 5, 6, 10,
5 to
maybe?
10, yeah.
Yeah. So there's actually 250 artist proofs of that cover I just showed you. And they only did 5 to 10 that were non-artist proofs and that print run because they were doing it as like a joke to kind of tease how they feel like one of the artists that they were working with or one of the other guys that had released a book similar, I guess, releases too many or makes too many artist proofs. So they thought it'd be funny to make their whole print run say AP. So typically APs bring more money, but that's just like the regular book. The non-AP of that book actually is worth more because it's less print. So funny.
You get comic books get nuts, like just like cards. I'll show you guys a couple cards. These are I guess they're collectible essentially. They're limited to only 5, so they're not artist proofs, but there were exclusive books called Max Toons that Bloodhaven put out. You're probably familiar with Blood. And so this card, right, it's a little hollow, probably a lava foil. I have to. Then there'll be another set that I would have. It's obviously not with me. These are all the lava foils. That would be like a speckled foil or a confetti foil. So people get crazy with what's called treatment on comic books. And then same thing with metals, right? You do a foil or you do a metal or you do a gold. So this is Murat Michaels does this for his books. So he's the creator of Do You Poo and Tigumverse. And this is a gold lava foil. Only one of these exists. It is one of one.
What?
So there's only one of these in the world. And he'll do that for certain covers. And that's a great way to, like, if you have a company that does this stuff for you as a retailer. I went through a company and I made the metals myself because IDW for Ninja Turtles, they don't do chrome foils and metals anymore. It's really difficult to get them. So what I did was I took my own artwork because I own it, right? I mean, the artist obviously did all the art, but I paid for that and I have the licensing for it. I send the art. I have the 20 sets, so only 10 of each metal made. I could have also had foils made through that company. The difference is I didn't have the entire story of TMNT versus Street Fighter 1. So what that company would do is say, hey, do you want to order 10 foils? And I could have done lava foils, gold foil, whatever. And then they would have printed from their shop the story 10 times and 10 treated covers, 10 foils or whatever. And then they would have done the stapling and put them together for me. That's what other shops do with this stuff. Or the publisher has those services and so they could use it. Now, I had like a sample PDF file of the whole story because it's IDW. I didn't write the story.
Right.
But you can do cool stuff like a one of one gold foil when you're the creator like Murat Michaels is. He's got the whole story. So I believe it's Counterpoint that does all of the Do You Poo books and stuff. They do all of that treatment for them. I got something cool I'll show you guys. It has nothing to do with anything, but we were looking at older stuff before and cartoons that we like.
Earthworm and Jim.
Dude, I remember playing that video game.
Yeah. You remember the game, dude?
I love the games. That's still one of my favorite. Like I mod all my consoles and I have like old Sega databases of ROMs and stuff, and I'll still play Earthworm
That's
Jim.
awesome, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, man. I'm like Dude, I might be a comic expert by like next week, dude. I'm telling you, I'm gonna just start like.
I know. I already started. I already started fucking googling comic books right now.
Darkwing Duck, let's go.
Like,
Dude, yeah.
Darkwing.
That's the other thing. When you're first getting into it, if you go to shops and stuff, they'll pull out a comic book guide, and they'll go through, and it might be a couple of years old, and it'll have a lot of cataloged older books and titles, and you can look up. Oh, okay, Amazing Spider-Man number 252 in a low grade, mid grade, high grade should sell for about this much, and it's an easy way to quickly price. But with the technology and stuff that we have today, that's so much better. That's how I actually found out that Amazing Spider-Man 101, and it's the National Diamond insert. I was trying to look it up, and I was like, oh, okay, I could probably sell this for maybe $700-800 if I wanted to. And then I looked on something called Cover Price. So I have a membership with them. I've talked to them in person at conventions. They're cataloging the databases in real time, eBay sales and things like that. You look up a book through them, and it'll show you the most recent sold and what grade it was, or if it was raw. It was listed as this one is near mint or very fine raw, sold for 80. So oh dang, I could sell this one book for 80. When I looked it up on there and realized that the National Diamond insert was more rare than the Mark Jewelers, that's when I was like, oh wait, a 5.5 just sold like November of 2023 for 1,700, and like a 6.5 just sold for 1,800, and I've got a 7.0. I had no idea what I had until I looked it up on Cover Price. I mean, I knew it was a high key valuable book, but I might have been like, oh, you know what? A normal one might be worth 7. I'll sell it for 5 or 6. I'll make a nice little return.
Oh.
Well, now I know it's an 1,800 plus book, so I'll probably sell it for $1,200. Because for me, I still it's going to be a good return for me, and someone else will still have enough room to get in and either resell it or be like, dude, I got a great deal. So that for me, I like to do that.
Unless somebody comes in your show and asks for it for 600, then you'll run it for that.
Oh man, I gotta stop. I gotta stop doing that. I have a couple of people who will hop in and be like, don't do it. Like I have this white dresser here to the side. For the most part, that's my PC collection. It's hidden. So I do have slabs that are PC that are up on the wall behind us. But I have guys in my shop that during the show, they're like, don't do it. Don't go to the drawer. Because they know, don't sell anything from your personal collection. And I have, let me see which drawer. It's going to be this third drawer. Drawer number 3. So this one is cool. This is a Spawn Batman signed by Frank Miller.
Dude, that art.
Dude, the artwork is sick.
Yeah. So I don't collect personally. I don't collect DC for myself, but I was like, all right, a Spawn Batman signed by Frank Miller, gotta have it. So I do, and it stays in my personal collection drawer.
We're gonna start the bid at 500.
Right? Yeah, exactly. This is the artist I'm working with for TMNT #1, and I'll show you guys a sick sketch that he did. This cover, it's not going to be blank when I show you, but when he had it was a blank Disney's Scar #1.
Oh,
Right?
wow.
So it was I should say partially blank. It has the title of the book, and then it was just a white cover. Right? This is what he did.
Yo.
He turned Scar into like Conan the Barbarian.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
Like it's got like a Thundercats vibe.
Like
Right?
fucking
Yeah.
He-Man, like.
That's
So
sick.
Yeah, He-Man, yeah.
that is an insane sketch. Now he did this sketch and he colored it himself, and he's probably by far my favorite artist right now. And I'm gonna show you guys something cool that I like to do this on my show. I might have it in my buy it now at some point, but it's not for sale. It's in my personal collection. I do before and afters, and this is really fun for comic book collectors. And I'll say, okay, here's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Usagi Yojimbo #1 blank. So it's just TMNT Usagi Werewind blank. Here's the exact same book after this artist got a hold of it. It is the exact same blank cover, but he did a complete full cover sketch.
What?
It's insane. So I have slabbed books. I sold one of my slabs from him. It was a blank cover, and the entire thing was a sketch, and I sold it for like $600 on the show. And people were like, "Wow, that's crazy! I've never seen this cover." And I'm like, "Well, it's a one of one. It's not a cover that you could get. He did that. It was a blank cover." They're like, "What?" So then I've had a couple more that I've shown, and that's part of the fun when you find an artist that's really passionate. I mean, most artists are passionate, right? They don't do it for the money because not a ton of money in being an artist unless you're really famous. But when you find someone that's passionate about the way they do their art, like he is, he tries to do sketches and remarks and make it to where they look like they're part of the original cover art. So other people will do like a white sketch so you can see it stand out on a book, or a black marker sketch, they'll do a remark for you. And those are cool. There's nothing wrong with them. But he will do a full color sketch of something and it looks like I'm telling you guys this and I can show you. It looks like it's meant to be part of that book. All right, so this is a virgin cover. Same guy that did all those other sketches, Mike Ruth. This is the guy I've got right now that I'm trying to get a TMNT 1 with. So this is a blank virgin. It's the blank. There's no extra stuff on it, okay? This is the same cover with trade, so it has the writing, but that splinter is not part of the cover. That splinter, the whole thing is a remark. And the blood on his sword is a remark. It looks like it's supposed to be there. It looks like it's part of the cover. Dude. This guy, the detail, like the dedication, the time, it's just insane. Like
So when do they do
it.
that? When do they do that? Like,
pay them money. So
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you
Yeah.
send the book? You send the book out to them, and then they. Okay.
So people who are wanting to collect books, if you have books that you would like to have them signed or remarked, look up like a convention timeline, like a calendar of, there's some Comic-Cons that are coming near me. Here's the artists that are going to be there. Make sure you follow the artists that you like or that you have a collection of already on their Instagram. They'll usually post their tour schedule. You can go to their booth and you can be like, "Hey, Tyler Kirkham, you're dope. I love you. I got this book. Could you give me a remark?" And they usually have a little card or something that says, $20 SIG, $40 SIG, $75 quick sketch, $150 color remark or something. And you just pay them and then they'll do it. Now, Mike Ruth, that guy, that artist who does those, if you got to get there first. And then he'll be like, "Cool, hand me the blank." And you walk around the convention for a few hours and come back and he's there still working on it or done. So what I love to do, shout out to Mike Ruth. I think his Instagram is Uncouth Ruth. If anybody wants to check him out, he'll do a time-lapse video of him taking a blank, starting the sketch, putting in the color, and he paints the covers too to do the full color like that TMNT Usagi. It's crazy to watch, and it's expensive if you do it at a con. I have sketches that were not as good as his that cost me $400. And I'm like, damn, I wish I knew about him first because I'd give him all my money for my sketches. Like, hands down, if I want remarks done, that's the guy to do them for me forever now at this point.
That's sick, dude. That's the same thing as getting like a signature.
Can you get an off the books kind of the Back to the Future thing? Like, just have him do it, but not.
Yes.
Okay.
So where I'm at, I love that you asked that question, bro. So what I have,
I've been thinking it.
Dude, I have. This is a blank TMNT, completely blank. This is a TMNT Usagi, and it's the Japanese cherry blossom. I've got another one that's green, and I've got one more that I have to find that is mostly, if not completely, white. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna send him that completely white one and say, if IDW just shuts us down, this is what we'll do. The other thing I could do, when you want to do an exclusive, you have to do a minimum order quantity, just like a lot of big purchases. And it's usually 1,200, 1,500, 2,000, depends on the book. For TMNT number 1, it's 1,200. But if I do a second cover, I can do 500. And so I'm like, okay, I want to do one virgin full color, one virgin black and white or color splash. I'll do 500 of those. Maybe I'll do a third cover and they'll give me an even lower print run since I'm doing so many, and I'll just do them blank. And I'm like, I'll do them blank and I'll sell them for $10 or something for a blank. but then I'll have blank ones that I can give him and say, okay, now do my Back to the Future cover.
Yeah.
Like, just so I can have it on that book. So that's an option, but I can always give him any other blank, and he can do that for me too. I've asked him already. I'm like, okay, when do you have time for more sketches, man?
I'm pretty sure
So,
I could probably
man.
sketch it up for you if you wanted me to.
Bro.
I actually sketched this right here. This sketch right here, I did.
Oh
that
my
myself.
Is that Gogeta?
No,
Or is that
don't
Goku Black?
How dare you? How dare you? it's Vegito. I'm a Vegito fan.
Okay.
He's the better of the.
It's if you like one, you can't like the other. That's so Gunny likes Vegito. So if you say Gogeta, that's taboo.
Well, listen, I am of the mind that, to me at least, up until maybe Super Saiyan 4 was the most badass look. And I know it's not canon anymore, and they scrubbed the whole like GT series, but there was something like visceral and badass about.
You're not wrong, dude. You know what?
Right?
And recently, it's just super off topic here. Recently, a lot of Super Saiyan 4 art has become more popular amongst the TCG and print wise. And they showed for the new set that's being released, one of the arts where it's Super Saiyan 4 Goku face front looking over to his shoulder, and Vegeta side profile in Super Saiyan 4, and it just immediately the clip of the show in GT popped up in my head, and I was like, dude, these guys are so badass in Super Saiyan 4. So, and you know, I didn't really collect Super Saiyan 4 Vegito specifically, but like now I do. Shamefully, it's just, I don't know, but it's cool, man. Super Saiyan 4 was definitely like the badass transformation because like it wasn't like super popular.
I loved it.
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
You pulled those out like fucking clockwork, both of you.
Yeah.
I actually, here you go.
You have one.
I got
You
one right
have
here.
one.
Wait, hold
Where's
on.
that?
Where's my drip?
He's on Super Saiyan 4
Oh my
now.
God.
He's on Super
Oh,
Saiyan 4
snap.
now. Oh, hey, that's a nice SR right there, buddy.
What is
I
it?
can't
This?
stand you.
What is an SSR?
That's an SR. No,
What's
not
an
SSR.
SSR?
SSR is your Frieza I gave you.
Oh.
Nah, dude, that's
Yeah, I
so
don't know
sick.
shit about
So-
Dragon Ball Z cards. Tried to get lucky.
So I gotta ask, the color blank fronts, and I don't know if you answered this
Yeah.
question. It might have went over my head. How do you go about getting those? Those are per store. Like, do you have to like, it's like a mail-in
Yeah.
exclusive?
It's so the Japanese the rose blossom one I showed, or the cherry
Yeah.
blossom rather. So that is from, I believe they are called Condemned Comics. That is one of their retailer exclusives. Essentially, what they did was they told IDW, like, yeah, we want to do a shop exclusive for Turtles, but we don't have an artist, so just give us, we're going to order a blank. And when you go to do an exclusive, you have to give them every detail. What type of paper do I want you guys to use? Do I want the cover to be trade, dress, or undressed, virgin or trade? And then what do I want on the back cover? If you have to decide the color of the back and front color essentially as well, if there's no art. So I'm sure what that shop did was create I mean, I don't know if they did it this way, but they possibly went on Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator and created an 11 by 17, rectangle and filled it in with the color they wanted, and then sent that in as the original art so that they could just print that color out on all of the blanks. Because I don't think they could tell IDW, oh, give us a turtle green, you guys pick the shade of green, and give us a pink for like Japanese cherry blossom. I think they had to send in that color palette. So when I had to do mine, the artist had to take a blank 11 by 17 canvas, draw out everything, then ink it, and then scan that over to the colorist so that they could color the digital version of it. And then that's what we sent to IDW for them to go ahead and print the books. So the original art is still black and white 11 by 17s.
That's sweet.
Couple $1,000.
So anything that you get that's a color face or like a blank face is gonna be like a exclusive. It's not like a pre-pressed run essentially.
Yeah, for the most part. Now, if they are partially blank, like the scar I showed you still said Disney scar, Disney might have put that out. Or
Oh, okay.
is it IDW also? It's not IDW. It's Disney. I think it's Marvel rather. Marvel.
Marvel
Marvel
does
would
it.
have put that out. So if it's a complete blank or a different color, some shop ordered it. I have a blank Ronin, partially blank. It's black, and it just says the last Ronin on it, and that's an obscurity blank. And there's like a crazy story behind it. I don't know which version of the story is true, but essentially there's an error version of it as well, where it was supposed to be a flat black, and then they accidentally printed like a matte or a glossy version. And either way, if you can find those last Ronin blank obscurities, they're like $200 for the book with nothing on it, just blank as is.
Wow. What a
So-
market. What a
but-
market comics is, dude. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's nuts. That Earthworm Jim I just showed you is a $200 book. That Earthworm Jim #1, $199.
You know,
It's there's only 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it
What-
was a 3-print run. I have an even more rare book now that I think about it. Keep talking.
Just
Keep talking.
fucking
I'm
pulling books out of
nerding out,
everywhere,
man.
dude.
What do you think about old Ghost Rider comics?
I love him, dude. I still have like a Ghost Rider 6, maybe, where he had his own poly bag with like they printed like the Ghost Rider head skull with flames, still sealed in that. It might be right next to me.
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, I love the old Ghost Rider ones. Ghost Rider Vengeance. They had some badass colors. They had a sick leather cover, I think, if I remember correctly, for one of the old Ghost Rider ones. I can't find it, but there's the Evil. They call him Evil from Earthworm Jim. Do you remember the little
Yeah.
cat dude's name was
Oh,
Evil?
yeah.
They had a spin-off of the 3 Earthworm Jim 1, 2, and 3, and it was they call him Evil #1, and I have one, and it's like a $250 book, and I have it, and I'm like, where the hell did I put it? It's somewhere. It's probably right next to me. I got books everywhere, dude.
I
So,
gotta
so
ask.
for those wondering,
Go ahead. Sorry.
go ahead. No,
Go.
you go ahead, Gunny.
Javi, green light. I'm giving you a green light.
Shit. Okay. For those that are curious, probably still sitting here in chat wondering, when's your next show on Whatnot?
Oh, what day is it? Today Wednesday?
21st. Yeah, today's Wednesday, 21st.
I'll double check. I want to say I've got the Rewind show Friday or Saturday. I'm gonna pull up my schedule right now. My next show is scheduled tomorrow. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. Oh,
Well, looks
Turtle
like it.
Thursday. Yeah,
Yeah,
I had-
I'll be there.
right on. Let's go. Yeah, I'm doing a Turtle Thursday. I usually do Turtle Tuesdays, but my daughter had dance practice on Tuesday, so I took her to dance practice.
But if it ain't free, I won't be there. I'm
I'll have
kidding.
giveaways. I'll have giveaways. Don't worry. There will be giveaways.
He loves the giveaways, dude.
Oh my god.
Talking about the shows, and I'll show you guys. I made this, so I had so many thoughts in my head of what I wanted. That's why it looks so crazy. But this is a certificate of authenticity. So any of my books that I get signed will come with a COA. And if you have books that are from another retailer, they usually have them as well. But I have my own, and so it's got way too much going on. But that QR code is like the Whatnot link. Like that
no
QR
shit.
code scans in. I think it gives you 10 or 20 bucks for your first purchase if you've never been on Whatnot, but it like links you to the Collectibles show. So I put that on my COAs, and then I was like, I fucking stream online. Everyone that buys is on my show. Why did I should have put a different QR code. You know what I mean? Like you're already here.
You're already there.
Like, this is a great idea if I was selling them in person, like a convention. So I might have to start taking those to conventions with me. Oh yeah, scan this. You know, that would make more sense.
Yeah, just scan them to the Junk Drawer podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. Drop that follow and that subscribe.
Let's
Hell
go.
yeah. Hell yeah. I did for anyone that is in the chat. I did drop the plug for the Whatnot platform, and I'm also uploading the Instagram plug for Mr. Electable. Oh Jesus, dude! I just had a moment.
Come on. You got it.
Oh, dude, it's whenever I think
Sound
about
it out.
Whenever I think about it, I have a problem, right? Right. So there we go. All right.
It's difficult. Eclectables, Mr.
Mr.
Eclectables.
Eclectic. Why can't you just be Mr. Turtle Man, bro? It would be so
Yeah,
much
that would have been so
easier.
much easier, right? Originally, I was gonna do like, I wanted it to be like Eclectables or half-shelled comics or something like. I wanted it to be turtles, but my other business, you can't read the sign, the established in quarantine, is J&E Eclectics. So it's because I have eclectic taste. Like when you hear my background, it's ridiculous. Like you would never. So I was a combat medic. So I did 8 years in the army. Then I get out of the army and I go back to school for my MBA. I leave healthcare to go work and run operations for Amazon. I mean, and all the little things in between. So quarantine happens. I start this business. I get cast on a reality TV show. How did that happen? The crazy thing is, I don't know if you guys watch MTV, but I've been obsessed with this show since I was 15, called The Challenge, and I love watching that show. And one of the guys on the show that's been my favorite, Wes Bergman. So,
Oh God, Wes.
dude,
Wait, is that the? Hold on, which one is he?
He's won several times.
Is he the
Oh,
asshole?
yeah.
He's maybe
Yeah.
a lot of people. He's always vilified because he's like he kind of starts things.
Oh no, wait, I'm thinking of
he's good
CT,
at manipulating
right?
people. Dude, CT's awesome. That guy's
Oh, is he?
badass.
Okay.
But no, you're right. I mean, Johnny Bananas is a little bit of an asshole, but he wins a lot. Wes is who people are like, oh wait, we want to partner with him because we want to win, but we should, instead of partnering with him, let's just get him out so he doesn't manipulate everybody and then end up winning. Well, Wes, he is actually the founder of like one of the largest, if not the largest, business incubators in America called Beta Blocks. And that's the ad I saw was for Beta Blocks. It's like, are you an entrepreneur? Are you competitive? This and this. And I was like, hell yeah, I am. I filled something out. My phone rings and it's Wes Bergman. So I didn't nerd out on the phone, but I wanted to. He's like, hey, is this JC? Let's talk about your business, answer these questions. So I went through like a whole interview process. There were several steps. And I'm like, am I really talking to the Wes from MTV's The Challenge? And then I fly out. They put us up in these mansions and you compete against each other every day. And it's like every day I'm hanging out with Wes Bergman. And that's a real story from my real life that is just, it's unbelievable, right? And it's crazy, man. And then, so Eclectics, even though it's a stupid and difficult, hard thing to say, Collectibles, I went from all of these other things and now I'm streaming on Whatnot and I'm a comic retailer and I did my own Ninja Turtle exclusive. There's not a better word for all the different tastes and things that I've done than Eclectables.
Mr.
Unless you call yourself
Collectibles.
Doseki is like the most interesting man in the world. Like shit.
Yeah, so it's like that's, I think I blame a lot of it on like ADHD. Like I either can't focus or I hyperfixate on something, and when I hyperfixate, then I get obsessive and I was like, oh cool, I want to have a podcast set up. So then what did I do? I started researching, jumping down the rabbit hole, and it's like I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I might as well get the same mic that Joe Rogan uses because he's got a great podcast. Did I need that? No, I did not need it. I could have, and I think I do somewhere. I have like an HD like webcam, but instead I'm using 4 Sony A7C like professional
shit.
cameras in here to do my Whatnot stream to do. I'm telling you, man, like.
I'm sitting here like I'm gonna ask
just-
him about his camera. He's probably got like a couple Logi Pros or something like that. He's got
It's
A7C,
right.
dude, full mirrorless
Yeah.
cameras. Here we are. That's,
Yeah.
Rocking a
And
C920.
what's really crazy, right? So I think I have one. I think I got one of those Logitechs originally because I was like, oh yeah, I want it. I'll get a green screen and put all that behind me. And then I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna do it, I might as well just try and get one really nice camera. So I buy one, and then I set it up. And I was like, but if I have a guest on my podcast, because originally the other side of my shop wasn't desks of comic books, it was a big couch. And this looked like casting couch in here for a while, man.
Oh no.
And I had a guest over. I did film like an hour and a half, 2 hour long podcast where it was me talking to this entrepreneur. But when he walked in, he looked at me and was like, how much do I trust this guy right now? Because I was like, yeah, go sit on the couch. And I just had like all these cameras set up and lights. And
He's wondering if Drake's about to walk in.
So, I mean, I've gone a little bit crazy. What you guys can't see is I've got like dual monitors set up. I got the 2 cameras set up. I took a small Pelican box. I watched a video on YouTube, and I completely built a little 4K switchboard, like a TV switchboard. So you can see that light right there. What you can't see is there's a 4K screen about 7 inches built inside the lid of this Pelican, and down here is not my Stream Deck. I don't even remember what it's called now. It's like a ATEM Mini Pro ISO. So it's a legit TV switcher that I built inside this Pelican box here, and I could switch all the cameras. I could run, media through it if I wanted to, or whatever. And I was like, this is gonna be great. And then I never did the podcast. I just started selling comics. Dude. And so I don't need all this extra stuff. I'm just like, all right, guys, look at me. Look at the comic I'm selling you. All right, come back. I'm talking to you guys again. I don't even use cameras 3 and 4 right now. But I mean, dude, I could. I've just went way overboard.
Here I am thinking I'm winning at life, where I got a Stream Deck. I'm like, yeah, I got a Stream Deck. I got a little
right.
I got an A6600 camera, and it's like, yeah, I have an A7C that just shows the comics.
Oh, man.
Like, fuck, dude.
I built a nuclear launcher in a Pelican case.
Yeah. I went. Well, here's the crazy. Okay. I have another actual large Pelican, and it has another A7C in it. I built a portable YouTube studio because when I was going to film on that TV show, I was like, oh, I don't want to lug a camera around, but I need to film this experience. So if you set this Pelican down on a table or a chair or a bed or anything, and you open the lid, inside the lid, I have mounted a little swing arm with the camera and a light. And then inside, it all runs off of a 45-watt portable battery charger. And I got those wireless is it mode? I don't even remember what they're called. But I got all these wireless mic attachments, and I was interviewing the other people on the show while I was there. And now it just sits in the closed. That's why I'm not using camera 3, because it's still inside that Pelican box. But
dude, you have
I have a little portable.
That works for the CIA.
After the show, we need you to send us pictures of that. I want to see it. I have to.
Oh, 100%, dude.
Send us pictures, dude. 100% undercover informant. I absolutely.
Cold War spy gear, bro. I'm telling you.
Secret Wars. This is the
Drake.
Secret Wars.
That's
fucking
my problem.
Number 8. This is fucking the original Secret Wars right here. It's fucking.
It's a problem. I have to sell comic books just to pay for this addiction, because I'm like, oh, I really like this. I need to get these stands. I need to get. I mean, it's only me. Why do I have 3 Shure SM7B? I don't need 3.
3 is better than 2.
Have another. Exactly. And that was my thought. I'm like, well, it's a big couch. What if there's more than one guest and they're on opposite ends? They should each have their own mic. And then I thought, well, what if I don't have enough? So I have this PodTrack P4 that I'm running my mics through for no reason. I could use anything. And I'm like, well, what if I run out of XLRs? So I have not the SM7B, there's the other one. And it's strictly USB. It's the one step down. So I got one of those just in case there was an extra guest. And the PodTrack P4 you can call into and Bluetooth to. So if I call somebody, I can have their audio run through the P4 as well.
That's sick.
It's excessive, man. It's excessive.
Dude, he busts out a fucking carbon fiber boom arm. Yeah, we got it right here, dude. Fuck, keep going.
Well, wouldn't you rather have it and not need it?
It comes on our podcast. We're rocking cell phones.
That is the dangerous logic.
YouTube Mike says the Best Buy guy loves you.
And not need it, than need it and not have it.
Right.
And it's essentially.
But that one time you get to use it, you're gonna be like, "Say, I fucking told you,
it was worth it." I like to make things. There's this guy on YouTube, man, and I watch his videos that he puts out, and he was like, "I'm gonna turn this Pelican box into this," and I was like, "Order everything on the list in his video," and then I'm like, "I'm gonna do it too," and I built it. And then I was like, that's cool. And then he's like, you want to see how to make a portable YouTube studio and a large Pelican case? And I said, don't I?
Sure do.
So then I did. And I'm like, wow, this is cool. It's just,
awesome.
It's excessive. There's no reason for it.
That's so great.
It's just
I
the way
mean-
my brain works, though. It makes me spend more money than like I built my own computer. Why? I
Why
didn't
not?
need to do that because
It saves
the
your
game-
ass
I mean,
when
it
you know
did.
how things work. You know.
I just
It
built it
did.
for my brother. Literally yesterday, I finished it. It's fucking great.
So I obsessed over that thing. It took me so long to build it because I couldn't check out. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get this motherboard. Well, wait, what is this? And then I see this other, okay, 8027 Killer B Wi-Fi. What does that motherboard have? That this one? Oh, okay, this could take different DRAM. Okay, hold on. So then I was like, what is? There's a website, and I can't think of it now, but it's not like Computer Genius, but essentially, you can virtually build a computer, and it'll tell you what parts are compatible.
Well, like
So I
partspicker.com.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And-
Newegg too, I think.
Yeah, Newegg will do similar. But this, I was going through and I'm like, okay, this is the motherboard I'm buying. And I put it in. And it was like, okay, this RAM is compatible. So I did that. And I built, I'm going to tell you, listen, this is my obsessive personality. I had this good friend that got
PC
me to
part
play
builder.
PUBG. No, he got me to play PUBG one time.
Oh boy.
And I was like, this game's difficult. Like, it wasn't that fun. It pissed me off. I'm like, the fucking controls don't make sense. So I obsessed about it, and I had to build a fucking badass gaming PC just so I could play PUBG.
I need more frames.
That was it. That was the whole thing. I was like, I gotta have the best of the
It's
best.
the frames, dude.
So I
It's the
can play
frames.
PUBG.
You know.
That's
And so now I have like this graphics laptop. It's a $5,000 laptop that I use for my clothing business to do all my designs. And I use that to run like Illustrator and stuff. And I just run all of my streams, on OBS through that laptop. And I rarely use the gaming computer now.
Mm.
Yeah, you guys want to see my fully built PC? I'm gonna send you a sick ass email, dude. Watch this. Oh god, dude, that's
Yeah,
great,
man.
man. That's awesome. Holy shit, that's awesome.
It's the same. It's the same thing that says, "Ooh, I've got a 9.2 of this really rare book."
Can you run
But a
that
9.8
PC
would be
on
better, Ca-
Mewtwo Mike, you can run the PC on Whatnot. A lot of streamers
Yeah.
that have the capability will stream live. I mean, I've done it before too. Untimely
I think.
Ending, who
I,
is in the
I wonder if
chat,
he's
does it.
asking if he can sell it. Run it. Like run
Oh,
it as a
like
sale.
sell it.
Oh, you
Probably
want
could.
to? Oh, you want to sell it? Actually, I don't see why not. People sell electronics all the time.
Yeah, it's not nice. I built it like 3 years ago. It's got like a
He said yes, sell.
1080 Ti in it, and like so, Doc, you got what is that? A white Honda Civic? I'm just kidding. I don't know what's in your PC. Mine has like a
Come
Burger
on.
King Deadpool. I can't
That's
see
a
what it
s-
is from here. I
That's
just
a
see a white car.
Subi. That's a
He
Subi.
said
okay,
it's a
of course
fucking
it's
Honda
Subaru.
Civic.
I said a white Civic, bro. Did the disrespect so bad.
So
Damn.
I built mine, and it's got a Deadpool in there.
Mine has a Vegito in it.
Nice.
It's got a lot of Vegito in it.
Yeah,
There were,
Autistic with you, though.
I had a bunch of shit in there
Listen,
at one
bro.
point.
I think it's the sickest PC build around, dude. That's fucking.
No, your shit's clean for sure.
Oh yeah,
this
I love it.
shit's dope. All right. Well, listen, we're tracking here. Let me see here. Dude.
What up,
I think we're at the. You have something? Go ahead. Fire.
I was just gonna ask him if he had any questions for us. I think we're probably to the tail end, right?
Yeah. I'd say we're about there.
If he has questions or chat has questions for him or for us, now would be a good time.
Yeah, get the questions out. I got a couple of things just to run. So this is fun. Like this is sort of what I try to do during my streams. I know that the goal should be run as many comics as you can as fast as you can, right? Try and sell them. But I really spend a lot of time reading the chat as questions come up. And if they're like, "Oh, what is that storyline?" or "Do you have this book?" It's really fun to engage.
Oh yeah.
And it helps the time go by. Like I won't realize, oh, I just streamed for an hour and a half. I need to get better at focusing on trying to sell more books and run them faster. I'm doing that too, but I like that the shows become a little personal. Like when somebody who's been coming in a few times comes back and it's like, oh shoot, it's you. Or if I remember like, oh, you just got that book from me. It should have been delivered by now. How did that go? Like it's always fun for the follow up. And I have something here that I've shown off on my show a couple of times. I've never tried to sell it, but since you guys do cards, this is a pretty rare. Covering my face so my camera will blur. These are Topps Collectibles TMNT
Wait a
from
minute.
yeah, sealed from 1989.
I'm gonna need that.
So
Dude, that's sick.
I have wanted someone to like offer me like to buy them because I want to open them. They're
$17
sealed from 1980, right? So
I'll
I
open that
checked-
shit on the. I'll open that shit on the
Right.
next stream, bro.
Dude,
I'll be there tomorrow.
I checked eBay, and for like pretty beat up ones, I think the card packs inside were still sealed. Like starting at $150.
Ooh, it's
And
too much for me.
so this is it's 22 bonus cards included, 110 glossy cards and 11 stickers that are all pretty rare, and it's all from Mirage Studios, who originally released, the first volume Turtle books. From 1989, which is nuts. I can't bring
gonna rip 'em
myself to
tomorrow.
open it. Right, rip 'em
I
tomorrow. We're
will.
gonna do
Dude,
live
Yep.
open.
I'll
Rip
do it.
Rip it and send
I'll
me
be,
the
do it.
I'll be in
creator.
there tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I can't do. I'm like, someone has to buy it, and then I wanted someone to buy it on one stream. Like, hey, yeah, if you buy it, I'll open it, and we can see what's in it. Because I won't do it as long as it's mine. I won't.
Well,
open it.
are you prepared?
stay
Are
sealed.
you prepared to open that pack? Like, do you have
I will.
sleeves?
I will
I
trade you
want
a.
to-
I
I
will
want
trade you
to
a
know what's in
Pokemon
it.
Red.
I don't know what that means, but
Well,
Do you-
no,
do
I'm
you have
saying,
sleeves and
I'm
top
saying
loaders?
you have to be prepared to open that pack. Like, you have to have sleeves and top loaders just in case.
oh, so I
Oh,
do have. Where are they?
Foamy says he needs that red.
Oh,
I
you
need
know
that red.
what?
He said.
I had some like Garbage Pail Kid cards, and I gave them away. I don't have any more card top loaders, so no.
You got it.
Then I should
Yeah,
order some blanks.
before you open that, you gotta have the penny sleeves and the
Yeah.
top loaders or card
For
savers
sure.
on deck.
For sure.
See, look, guys, look what you just did. I'm gonna be on YouTube and Google right after this. And I'm gonna look into cards, and I'm gonna
Literally
order
buy
top
what you
loaders
need.
This guy's
and
gonna build
penny
a
sleeves and
card
like
grading
50
machine.
more of these,
Card
Right.
grading.
Gonna build a card
dispenser.
grading machine in a Pelican case.
right? Yeah,
How many cards are in there?
110.
Nerd propaganda says he's gonna
All right.
raw dog it like we did our Pokemon back in '99.
It is the
I'll put you a label up.
complete
I'll
set.
put you a label up, and I'll send you top loaders and penny sleeves.
Oh, bro, let's go.
I've got 10,000, so we'll
You
be.
should-
Oh Lord.
I got plenty. I
We
have
used
plenty
to
to
take
give.
our Pokemon cards, dude, and just fucking open them, rip a pack. Sick, dude, sick. Boom, right in your pocket, dude. No sleeve, no nothing.
Right in
your
the
pocket.
backpack.
We're out
Oh.
of here. We gotta go.
Shoving binders on top of it in school, like throwing them, chucking them in the bottom of the backpack, fucking jamming textbooks on top.
Is it DBZ taking over for you guys right now, or is it still Pokemon?
No,
I'm Pokemon, they're
Pokemon's
DBZ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doc's
Okay.
the only Pokemon. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I sold out of my Pokemon. But like, it's he's
I
like
do a little.
main focus is Yeah, but I'm saying collector wise, like you don't really collect Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
No, I collect a little bit. Yeah, I have a little bit, but Doc is definitely like our main Pokemon guy.
Yeah.
I mean, we do the coins too, you know.
That's, dude. I'm not.
That's sick.
That was wild. All right. Anyways.
And then me and Javier are One Piece as well.
Oh, right on. I just started getting into that with my daughter. So her mom's not happy about it, but I've gotten my daughter to start watching anime with me, and she wanted to watch Chainsaw Man. So we blew through Chainsaw Man, which again, mom wasn't happy about that. And
Yeah, I
I
was
had
gonna
to,
say
I
that's
got-
not like super kid friendly.
So I have this weird, like, I watched my first horror movie when I was like 3, and
Yes.
I vaguely remember like vampires and blood and stuff. I never had nightmares. Horror movies were just part of the household. Like, my mom loved them. So my daughter, with her mom, sort of lives in like this Disney bubble, and I've been
No.
trying to slowly break that. Like, hey, check this out. Let's watch Baki the Grappler. Like, something a little violent and bloody, right? She loved Naruto. She went all through Naruto. She actually loved Boruto. And then I got Crunchyroll, and she started watching stuff on her own. She's like, "Can I watch Chainsaw Man?" I was like, "Well, let's watch it together." I hadn't seen it yet, and I was like, "Oh, but it was so good I couldn't stop. But then I wasn't allowed to watch it without her, you know. So I was like, okay, but you know, don't repeat any of the language you hear. So we went through that. We were almost done with Attack on Titan, and when we get caught up and we have like no new episodes of Demon Slayer or something, she's like, what can we watch? And I was like, well, One Piece has several hundred episodes. I'm like, maybe I can get you on that and it'll buy me some time. Yeah, so I tried getting her on to One Piece, and then of course, as soon as I get her in the groove and she's watching it, and we're like 10, 11 episodes in, then then Netflix released like the live action, and now that's all she wanted to watch.
Yeah. Damn.
Which
Well, it's
which
still
was
the-
good. It was
the-
really good,
The
but
live action will take you to like episode 40 something, so
okay.
you'll be
that's what-
good.
I think that's what I was asking you. Like, if I were to watch, like, because One Piece has so many episodes of the
Yeah.
actual
93 episodes to be exact.
Yeah, so like if I watch the live action, it's quicker, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It'll
Okay.
take you. It'll take you to, like I said, it'll take you like maybe 60 episodes.
They're
in.
gonna have like 12 seasons or more of the live action plus some movies to even touch on that whole. Like I think I barely finished Hunter x Hunter, and because that wasn't that many
I love that
episodes,
one.
but
Yeah.
dude, my daughter loves that one too. She still gets pissed off about some of the stuff that happened on that.
Yeah.
You know, good one.
I've seen One Piece before it moved on past the 1000th episode 8 times.
Yeesh.
How many years is that?
What?
In minutes that you've
was
watched of show? Like,
That's nuts.
What?
Dude. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Wagyu. Go ahead. You're good.
I was gonna ask him what else he's into, or what else he's got for us, or questions he might have for us, or whatever.
I never got into collecting cards, so I grew up really poor. And like when I say that, where I'm at now in life, nobody ever believes me, but like I had to steal toilet paper from school so that I had toilet paper poor. Like it was bad. So I wasn't able to, even though like card packs might have been $1 or $2 at the time, and my cousins had binders full of Pokemon, I never was able to get into that stuff. And then eventually I grew not out of it, but I just got to an age where, you know, I was doing other things and I never really got to experience it. So my girlfriend, she loves like Yu-Gi-Oh, and a lot of my friends have collected, and they're entrenched in like the lore and all of the details of that, of like Pokemon and stuff. And I've not been into it. But if I was to get into anything, if I wanted to start collecting cards, for example, and you could only suggest one, obviously I think Doc's gonna say Pokemon, but if there was only one this late in the game, so to speak, what would you recommend?
Well,
actually, this late in the game, I'd probably point you to Dragon Ball or One Piece, just because Pokemon's fucking ruthless, and the amount of money you would have to spend on Pokemon cards is absolutely insane, because people have lost their minds. Seriously. The value's not there for a lot of the cards, even though they command that price for the certain age or print or weird whatever set it is. Dragon Ball, I feel like, is an easier thing. It's not newer, but like, I don't know. It's not as entrenched, I guess you could say, as Pokemon.
So,
you know,
so
like
I see it like
prices.
this, right? Dragon Ball is a very shallow well that you can potentially obtain a lot of like the higher end stuff for a super affordable price in comparison to if you were to chase Grails and Pokemon.
It's insane.
You know, it's so deep that like even the most obscure cards are going for so much money that like realistically, like if you were like, I'm gonna collect all, like let's say I'm gonna collect every Charizard and that's in a personal collection.
Impossible.
Good luck getting, you know, into the first,
Unless you're like
sets
Elon
first.
Musk, yeah.
Yeah, because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You know, whereas
Well, 'cause
Dragon
that's the
Ball, you know, you can get these cards relatively inexpensive, especially if you're not a grader. If you're like a binder kind of person, you're like, I want a binder. Dragon Ball Super cards, even some of the Score and GT cards, like older sets, or like Japanese cards, super easy to get into. You can get a lot of great art out of it. The cards are super affordable, for the most part readily available through most people who do sell or have a connection for that. And I just think that if that's your thing, then it should be pretty inexpensive in terms of like collecting what you like.
Okay.
Right. Like
That's like the next question too is are like I collect comic books, some of them are for the storyline or it's just the characters and it's the genre that I like. Turtles, I just love turtles. I'll get any turtle books. But for the most part, the rest of my stuff, if it's not for the storyline, it's for the art. But I know with cards like Pokemon, you can use that. Like there's a card game.
Right.
Is there like a DBZ game as well?
Yeah.
Or is it strictly just to collect the art?
yeah, we
No.
just had the champion on what 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, two.
Okay.
Yeah, we had the world
2
champion
episodes.
on.
World champion
Sick.
from and it's like, so there's a game platform for both English and Japanese. English is a in-person game, sit down, you play with somebody against somebody, and the Japanese version is an arcade game that you obviously take your cards, you place them on a digital board, and it reads out whatever. So yeah, both forms of it are super playable. So that it has a double purpose.
See, it's funny. Like, I wish I had been able to get into that stuff when I was younger. I only got into comics because people gave me comic books. But it's like, I like that stuff still today. Like, I still buy comics for myself now. I could see myself being like, okay, I want to learn how to play this game. Like, I wish I had gotten into like Magic the Gathering and stuff like that as well. I just didn't then. And now I'm like, okay, well, I love video games. But I like to go to comic book shops and I always see people playing cards. Lately around here, I've seen a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like tournaments and stuff. But I would be interested in being like, okay, this is something I would want to learn. I love board games and all kinds of stuff. So I could see myself wanting to start collecting something, but for the purpose of playing. Like comics, I really collect for the art. But
Do Dragon Ball, do Masters, because I mean, if you're
Dragon Ball just dropped a new game.
Yeah.
well, I was gonna say just because remember how they were talking about in the last when we had the champ on, he was talking about how like Masters is harder, it's more intricate to learn. I feel like that's right up your alley because like you deep dive straight into it and like really start putting decks together and start playing it,
Okay.
as opposed
So,
to
like-
Pokemon. Pokemon's not really super difficult to play.
Who's your favorite character from Dragon Ball?
oh shoot, okay, this is gonna get me in trouble. Maybe I always loved Future Trunks. Like, go back to DBZ, but
Mewtwo Mike is bricked up right now.
I mean, I guess I have to say Goku. That's kind of cheesy. It's like
Yeah.
picking the, but I'm a big Goku. Oh yeah, Future Trunks.
Trunks is
Yeah.
great. Trunks is a
Big
great
fan.
character. I don't think that he gets.
Who's killing it
no-
in that
Yeah.
jacket?
Like for this is equivalent to like what your signatures are. So like this is not obviously the signature itself is not graded. It is authenticated by PSA, but it is signed by the voice actor of Goku.
That's fire.
This card particularly is from the first set of Dragon Ball cards that were released for sale, which is through the first set, Galactic Battle, and it's a really hard card to grade. So having it in a BGS 10 is like a big boy.
What's the cost of? So like, if you want to grade a comic book and you're not doing it in quantity, it could be $35 to $50. Just
how
the
much a
fee
card
of
is.
getting a book graded and slapped. Is it about the same for a card?
Yeah, so a card, depending on the timing that you choose to grade it, could be between like let's call it on the low end $18 plus insurance and shipping, and then on the higher end, depending on how fast you really want it, which maybe 150, 160 bucks, but the average is around 40 bucks.
expedited. And,
Yeah, average is
And
around
then
$40.
And then if you grade with PSA, you'll start with a price to grade a card, but if the value of that card, especially after it's graded, say you send in a base set Shadowless Charizard and it hits a 10 at the grading facility, they will not give you your card back until you pay more money
The upcharge.
for insurance.
oh, okay, for insurance. Okay.
No,
So-
it's not insurance. They charge you for their fee.
They charge you for the grade.
Oh, they charge you for the
upgrade
grade
you.
too. Okay.
They upcharge the fee.
That's
hell is
nasty.
that?
See, CGC is pretty upfront. They have a set fee, unless it's like an older Silver Age book or higher value, then it's a different fee chart.
Right.
But I mean, if I was to send in an old book, like I had found one, they wouldn't be like, all right, we're gonna get a lot more money out of this guy. But I do wonder about, like, so for example, the census will say there's only 199 of this in the world, and then I send out what should be a 99. I wonder if the graders look at that and go,
Yeah, they gatekeep.
Pop
right? Like,
control.
They
do
could,
we
yeah, they
really
pop
want to,
control everything.
It's
oh,
huge.
it's so
It's a big.
that drives me nuts.
It's a big thing. You know, it's bigger than it should be. But
Yeah.
for Beckett
I've
specifically,
got some-
pop control.
I've got, okay, so I have a Secret Wars 8, which is like it's Spider-Man. It's a very classic comic. He's in his black suit, right? This is like essentially the first Venom, really. It's
Yes.
the symbiote that will become Venom, right? And I have it in a top loader. And when I look at it, it's so nice. I still want to get it pressed and cleaned and sent off for grading. But I would be heartbroken if it came back like 9.2. Because I look at it and I'm like, I don't know how this isn't a 10 when I look at it.
Well, that's
And
that's what you
I
do.
try to be, subjective still or objective, but I'm like, ooh. So I'm so scared to send it because I don't want to pay to get it slabbed and it come back cheap. But I know that they're not going to be like, ooh, this is a, $10,000 book in a 9.9 or something. They don't, and then I don't get it graded that. But-
Yeah.
Well,
No,
that's. I mean, that's what. Isn't that why you crack that? You gunny, like you crack cards that you know they screwed you,
Oh yeah,
and like
yeah.
you'll
all the
send
time.
you'll send it back, and you'll ask, what's that thing that you asked for? Where they like
Like
a
graders
physical.
remarks?
Graded card review.
What is it?
Graded card review.
Graded card review.
Yeah, the card review,
Yeah.
where they like relook at it.
Yeah, so
Or
that,
something like that.
That's something you would send a whole slab in. And all of us here, for the most part, Javi and Wagyu, are super familiar with that process. It's you can crack it if you think that you're getting screwed big time with the grades, or you can send it back if you're only a 0.5 away from hitting either a 10 or a black label. Again, it's still a super low chance of hitting grades because not cards are it's just the way they are. Graders specifically vary person to person, so it's
Yeah, like I have PSA 10s that probably should have been graded, like no joke, like a fucking 7, and then I have 9s that if I sent them to Beckett before they started gatekeeping, I could probably get pristines. And it's like, it's just that card was older, so it's an old PSA card. It's the old logo PSA, so maybe they were less stringent on it back in the day. Like I've seen PSA 10 shadowless Charizards where the back looks like somebody just hit it with a fucking power washer. You know what I'm saying? Like on the edges, and they got a 10.
yeah. Well, it's
It's not,
actually
it would
it's
never grade a
interesting.
10 today.
Believe it or not, a lot of older PSA slabs with old serial certs tend to cross grade a lot better than the new ones, just because the grading
They
scale
had a
changed.
stricter. Yeah, they had a stricter grading scale in the older.
Yeah,
So-
especially for Dragon Ball, you can find a lot of older cert PSA cards because not a lot of people graded with PSA at the time, or with BGS at the time. So the grading scale for PSA was different. So a lot of those crossovers tend to be like higher grades than they expected.
So I heard a rumor for Pokemon cards, especially old Wizards of the Coast Pokemon cards, old PSA graded ones, that there was this guy at PSA that was grading cards, and if the number, like the graded number, not the grade, but like say it's number 5,000 blah 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 blah, this card graded, he had specific numbers in like the last 3 digits, and he was always giving 10s, and certain people would like know, you would know that this guy graded it. It shouldn't have got a 10, but it got a 10 if it had like the last 3 digits were 808 or
Oh, wow.
385, like it had the 2 8s in it or something
Oh,
like that. I don't know if
over-
it's true, but it's like,
Overgrading is definitely a problem in both in any company, to be honest.
I'm tempted to crack my Ninja Turtles #2. So it's the second book. It's the first April O'Neil, and it's a first print 9.6 that looks perfect. And I could crack it and then press it, send it in, and see if it comes back 9.8, which the difference is like $650 or $4,000, from a 9.6 to a 9.8. But then if they came back and I got a 9.6 again, I guess no harm, no foul. But you can
If
also
you get an 8,
that. If I got an 8, then I would crack it again, and I would send it with the original 9.6 label and be like, "Hey,
There
I broke
you
the
go.
slab. Please re-slab it." And I would at least get my 9.6 back, most likely.
Yeah,
But,
I feel like I would fuck this thing up trying to crack it open. This is not a joke.
Yeah.
Like CGC
no.
slabs are hard to crack to begin with. This thing looks tough.
There's like
Do you have the
a way, but I don't. I personally haven't. I wouldn't. I'd have to get out like a
you have-
saw.
the April O'Neil book you were talking about earlier? Do you have that?
With the turtle and the adult
the,
one, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's like,
The risque.
Let me see.
I don't remember exactly where it is because I have
Head
like
to the-
7 different boxes for turtle books.
Going to the red light district.
Oh shit!
Right?
It's almost midnight. It's the red light district time.
Oh, I forgot.
The kids are in bed.
Does the chat have any questions, Javi?
Untimely did. I forgot to.
Yeah, Timely did. It was if he had a high end, what was it called?
Momoko or something. What was
Any peach Momoko grills.
Oh, I just showed
Yeah,
off
he showed that
a
Ronin.
10. A Ronin, last Ronin. Peach
He
Momoko.
showed that Ronin.
10.0.
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
Oh,
Hell
snap.
yeah! Hell yeah!
I'm gonna need that. Is she laying on his
Oh.
chest? What's going on here?
Yo, I'm not even gonna lie to you,
Yeah,
bro.
but-
I had to think about it for a second. I was like, "That's April, and why is the Hulk there?" And then I realized I was like, "Oh, the turtles are green too."
Yeah.
I thought about it, good. You ain't the only one. I thought it was Hulk too, so I had to look at me. I was like, huh?
We had to look at the eyes and see that he was wearing the bandana. or
Untimely
whatever.
said Melinda's house.
Yep. Exactly.
Screenshot. Oh man.
Yeah.
People know Melinda's in her books.
Let's see here. Well, I mean, listen. Just chat. You chat has any other questions you guys want to ask, real quick? Feel free. We're gonna start unwinding here. Go into the last couple minutes of our segment here. We don't want to keep anybody up too late. We all do have to work tomorrow. Well, I do at least.
We're gonna do a rapid fire, Gunny.
You have something set up? We have something set up? Are we?
No, No, we can shoot
gonna-
it from the hip.
We're gonna hit fire. Let's go.
Who's going first?
All right, we're gonna hot round some questions to you, and it's gonna
Like
be
2 each?
2 each. Yeah,
Or-
we'll go around the table twice, and it'll just be
Okay.
random questions to you, and you answer them as first thought pop up and go right.
Oh,
So,
crap.
uh,
All right.
Here we go.
All right, Wagyu, start off for us, buddy.
Oh, first, I'm gonna stick to the comic theme. First, memory of collecting a comic, or first comic memory.
Ooh, first comic memory. It'd be Sonic the Hedgehog. I remember specifically when I got this Sonic comic book was like the same day that one of my mom's friends stole my 50-cent pieces out of my Tootsie Roll piggy bank. I used to collect 50-cent pieces, and she stole like $28 and
God
50.
damn.
And I was like, at least I got my comic book. At least I got my Sonic.
All right,
Yeah,
Next
I knew she did it too. I just saw her face when she was leaving the house. Yeah.
next one for you. First biggest disappointment in your comic collecting history.
Biggest disappointment, Sabine Rich. I'm
Ooh.
not trying to throw her under the bus, but
That was a big one. Yeah.
It was a really big one for me. It's a lot of money to do an exclusive comic book, and for people like comic traders who they do it so frequently, like it's no sweat off their back. They're doing over $1 million a year in exclusives, and they suggested this artist that just does amazing work, and for the communication to break down and not be told like, hey, I either don't have the bandwidth or I've got other things I'm working, I can't do it, to where I missed the deadline of bringing in another artist. That was a big disappointment for me, because I was really building on the momentum of, I just did Street Fighter TMNT 1. Let's do this, Splintered Fate, which is a really cool spin-off one shot. And it kind of sailed out of the winds for me.
Okay.
All right.
Doc.
Charizard, Blastoise, or Venusaur?
Venusaur.
Oh, okay.
Super
All right.
All right.
Showing the Venusaur some love. You can't see it, but I got a few of them up there.
All right, on.
Go ahead, Avi.
Pineapples or no pineapples on pizza?
Pineapples belong on pizza. Period.
Oh my God! Get him off the show.
Calling the cops, bro.
I love them, man. I can't help it.
Wagyu.
Let's see. Let's do. Damn, I just had a good one too with the pineapples. Threw me as soon as you said yes.
Dude, I know nobody
Um,
likes it, but I love it.
Can't
I love
do it.
pineapple.
No,
on pizza.
man,
It's okay.
I can't rock with pineapple on pizza.
It's a Ninja Turtles thing.
Guy C says no pineapples.
Right.
First time
What's
chat.
your favorite? What's a hobby? I mean, obviously you got a lot of hobbies, but what's a hobby aside from comics and anime? What's your favorite pastime, or what's a hobby? Something that's got your interest?
Ooh, that's a great question. I used to be a professional dog handler, so that was something I liked to work with. I had
Yeah.
English Bulldogs and French Mastiff, and I would do dog shows with them. My English Bulldog and my Mastiff, my last two show dogs, both died last year before
man.
Christmas. Yeah,
Bummer.
so I don't do that anymore, but I have a laser cutter that I'm trying to get good at. That's my hobby outside of this. I love taking tumblers and making custom cups and stuff, and I'm trying to figure out how to do more stuff with the laser, but I don't quite speak the language yet, so that's the next little obsession is playing with my laser cutter.
Okay. Last one for me. I'll keep it pretty related to what you do. If you could have your perfect collaboration in comics, what would it be?
Ooh.
My perfect collaboration would be to do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles exclusive with Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird.
Okay.
So with the co-founders respectively together, and have them do a custom cover that was born of my vision, but for their baby, the Turtles. That would be like that'd be the holy grail for me. I used to think that I like something with Stan Lee. I have a 9/6 signed by Stan Lee. I should have shown that off. But I think that would be
RIP.
yeah, that would be the grail for me. Would be if I had a cover that was, those two bringing it to life for me. I think would be awesome.
Sick. Doc.
Okay. Lamborghini, Ferrari, or McLaren?
I'm a Lambo guy. I used to want a Lambo as a kid. I drive a Tesla, though,
Murcielago. Oh.
right?
Okay.
So
Tesla, Rivian, or Lucid? Obviously Tesla, I would think.
Tesla,
Yeah.
Tesla, man. Yeah. Lucid's funny though. I mean, they learned what to do, and then they left Tesla and went and started their own company, and it's expensive.
They're
It's not bad though. The cars are nice.
They're pretty sick, yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Javi.
My last one is your favorite vacation memory.
Bro, I love that question. So I used to work religiously in the army and afterwards even way too much, wouldn't take enough vacations. And at the time, I was convinced to take a Disney cruise and I wasn't happy about it. I did not like the idea of being stuck on a boat, like a moving hotel out on the water with a bunch of other people's kids. I thought that's not my idea of me going and relaxing. But I loved it so much that since that first initial cruise, anytime I have the money and the time, I will do a Disney cruise over any other vacation. For my daughter's 4th birthday, we did what I call a Budettes trip. Just me and my daughter. We flew out to Florida. We took a Disney cruise to the Bahamas, the Grand Cayman, and then Disney's Castaway Cay private island. And I did it just for her birthday because I had the vacation time set up. That was probably the best, man, right there. She doesn't remember it, which sucks. She was too young. Like, it would have been better for her 8th birthday. But I was like, divorced from her mom. And I was like, this is going to be great. Take my daughter out on daddy-daughter cruise.
Yeah.
So I cherish those memories, even though she doesn't have them. So I tell my fiance now we've got to take a cruise with my daughter to put fresh memories in, and that we're trying to get a cruise at the end of this year in October for 14 days with Disney, but
Holy
I
shit!
think it's gonna sell out before I get a chance to book it. But yeah, great question.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, I mean, we're gonna wrap it up right there. That's fucking awesome, dude. It has been an absolute pleasure, and I personally have learned a lot. And I mean, dude, I'm
Oh, yeah.
hyped. I'm pumped for comics, dude.
I was so
want
excited
comics.
for this.
I'm pumped for comics, man, and
I'm
obviously
pumped for Drake too.
That's crazy.
I mean, comic.
I can't
Oh,
tell
okay.
you. Oh God.
This was fun. I appreciate the invite, getting me out here. It was a lot of fun.
No, man, for sure.
Yeah, of course, man. We
Wagyu,
plan to double back. I think in a couple months. So we'll reach back out, maybe to follow up, kind of just touch back base on another comic series too. Maybe bring you back in if you're down for it. So
Absolutely, anytime.
Awesome, man. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, Mystery Collectibles. We are
Nailed
here.
it.
There it
There
is.
you go.
See, the tism switch is off. We're good.
That's because you're out there buying Fusion World.
That's crazy. That's not me. I don't know who the fucking Gunny 12 is. Yeah, no, seriously, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time, man. Thanks for all the information. And guys, like I said before, I did plug the IG and the whatnot in the chat. When I do the reel for the stream on Instagram, I'll make sure I plug it in again. You guys check them out, get yourself some comics, and yeah, ask away questions because he's got all the answers for you, man. It's fucking super informative. So again, we appreciate you, and thank you guys for coming back and checking us out. Next week we're back with a part 2 for the comic series. Wagyu's got another comic guru lined up for us.
Beachside Hobbies.
Beachside Hobbies.
Right on.
So we'll be checking that out,
Yep.
and then we'll keep pushing from there. So be ready. Till next time, guys. Thank you guys so much. Love, peace, be safe. Appreciate everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye.